Hello guys, good evening, or good day depending on when you're watching this, but most likely good evening. We're going to have a fun stream today. We got lots of stuff to do, episodes to go over. There's going to be a mass summoning for Kallen, although I don't think we're going to get her, but that is the plan going forward. And yeah, I don't think there's any huge announcements. I'm trying to get the C2 and Lelouch moments done by this week. Surprisingly enough, the video is taking longer to make than I thought. But I guess I should be better at estimating projects. But yeah, I'm working on that. It's going pretty well, and then by hopefully the end of the week we'll have that video, and maybe other stuff as well. Because of Thanksgiving, I'll have more free time to work on stuff, which is always awesome. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna first start with the anime review of the week, and the review is for Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. Now, before I actually get into the anime itself, let's go through a little backstory of how I even watched Beck, why I chose to watch it. Basically, a couple years ago, I watched Angel Beats, which I really enjoyed, and one of the aspects of Angel Beats that I enjoyed was the musical/band elements to it. It's not a major point in the story, but I believe it was episode 1 and 3, and I guess later on also with Yui, there was like a band called, I think it's called Monster Girl something? I'm probably getting that wrong. It doesn't really matter what the band's name was, but anyhow, I watched that anime and I was like, okay, I gotta watch more shows that have more band theme to it. So I watched K-On!, I saw Nana. I think I want to watch, July and April is one I'm interested in, and of course Beck is another example of a band anime, and so I figured, hey, let's go watch that one. It's people are saying like K-On! They're never gonna become like a big famous band, whereas Beck is actually based on a small group becoming famous. So I was like, okay, I'll watch that one since K-On! Was more of a fun slice of life. This one's more of a serious tone. Not to say there is no slice of life moments in Beck, because there are, but you understand what I'm saying? Like one was more like a kind of a carefree, fun adventure. This one's like, no, we want to become famous, we want to become big. Take this seriously. So that's the contrast between the two shows, and ultimately that's why I wanted to jump into Beck. Okay, now got the prelude out of the way. Let's actually get into the review. So Beck is about a character named Kayuki. And Kayuki is a average middle school student, I guess. I mean, what does average really mean? But he's your typical average anime protagonist where he's kind of like sick of the world and he's bored of stuff, except for music. He loves music, but school, he's kind of bored of that. And so he meets this character named Ryusuke, and obviously there's a lot of things that take place between what I'm saying and this event. But again, it's a synopsis, a quick summary, so don't expect me to spoil the whole story. And I'm not going to, because this is a non-spoiler review. Anywho, he meets Ryusuke once, and when he does, he sees his dog named Beck. Now, Beck's a strange-looking dog. It has, like, eye patches, and it looks almost like a Frankenweenie, if that's even a term. I think that was actually a movie, Frankenweenie. If it was that Tim Burton? I don't remember. Anyhow, he reminds me, like, kind of Frankenweenie, because it's a dog with, like, patches. It's a very strange creature. Anyhow, he runs into Ryusuke a second time, and when he does the second time, he went with his friends to a bowling alley. Then after that, they went off to I guess get drinks at a bar or something like that. And on their way out, they ran into a bunch of thugs who were threatening them. And Ryusuke kind of told these guys, hey, don't mess with these people. We'll take it out in the back. We'll go to the alley or something. And then eventually, Kayuki felt bad, so he went to go and help out. Of course, by the time he gets there, Ryusuke is already beaten up. But still, he wanted to help him out. And that whole scene is really funny because Ryusuke pulls out a gun and he says some expletive words. And I'm like, whoa. This show says the F word a lot, unapologetically, and for some reason, I'm like it just works, and we'll get into that later on in the review. But that's kind of the setup. He meets Ryusuke. He learns that Ryusuke loves music, especially Dying Breed, which is a band that Kayuki absolutely loves. So they kind of bond over that. Eventually, he learns that Ryusuke is actually a really awesome guitar player, and so Kayuki wants to join him to form a band, a famous band. Which they do, and they end up calling Beck, spoiler alerts, or more importantly, roll credits. So he joins the band called Beck, but to do that, he had to learn how to play guitar. So the guy who teaches him how to play guitar, named Saito, also happens to be a good swimmer. So Kayuki learns how to become a good swimmer and a good guitar player. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Now, even though he knows how to play guitar, his actual trait, what he's really good at, is singing. And there's a scene where he sings to Chiba, who's one of the best characters in the story, maybe the best character, and Chiba's response, which I won't say again because expletives, but it was like, whoa, again, the swearing, and it's just so unapologetic, but it just felt raw and natural at the same time. So they were so impressed by his ability to sing that Kayuki became one of the singers of the group. Chiba is the other one. And that's kind of how the band forms. And throughout the entire story, you see this band go from like a kind of like a unknown quantity, and they're simply performing at small shows here and there, and eventually they go to like the top. And how they get there and the journey to it is really exciting. There's even like this one character they meet when he goes to high school, who is voiced by John Bosch. I forgot his name. Oh wait, I'm looking right now. Yuji, yes. I gotta listen to the left of me because it's hard to remember all these characters' names. But anyways, Yuji, who again voiced by John Bosch, is a drummer because their drummer left, and so he ended up taking over for him. And so they form this band. They're performing in different places. They build a following. It's a really interesting story. He also meets a girl named Maho. I forgot to mention her earlier, who is the sister of Ryusuke, and she's a very interesting character. And we'll get into my thoughts on her a little later in the review. But so you got all the elements together of like he's going through high school, and there's some conflicts in there. For example, there's bullies who attack him, for obvious reasons because they're bullies. Although the younger brother actually plays guitar, and so they kind of form a friendship, even though they initially hate each other. And Chiba actually defends him against the bigger bully, and it's so funny because, again, Chiba's he's a very expressive guy. We'll say that much. If you watch Beck, Chiba is a very expressive guy. He'll just say the F word this and F word that. He does not care. So what I just love about it is that he defends him, and he eventually, those, like I said, the bullying him, they eventually become friends, which was a nice little add-on to the story. There's also a side conflict, not to go full details with this one, where basically Ryusuke pissed off some people, and I'm not going to say who or why, and there's a whole side plot with that. So there's a lot of little things going on here and there, but the main point of the story is simply this band growing from kind of an unknown quantity to a mainstay, even getting like music. And one of the best parts about like their songs, you get to find out why it's called Mongolian Chop Squad. It's one of the funniest scenes in this anime, and that's I guess we can transition to that. This story is very funny, but not always for the right reasons. But it's extremely funny, especially the every time his characters swear in the story. Again, like I think besides like Black Lagoon, I can't think of an anime that had as much swearing as Beck did. I mean, every character just loves to. Even Kayuki goes crazy sometimes with the swearing. And remember, this is Greg Ayres. If you don't know, I watched it dub, obviously, if I'm mentioning an English voice actor. Craig Ayres, he voiced, Nagisa and Free, and Sunahara and Clanet. So he's always played these wimpy characters. So to see him play first of all, main character, which is well-deserved, but also a wimpy character that actually stands up for himself is definitely a nice change of pace. So I definitely like that part of the story. So that's kind of like the other things to talk about. Let's see. I'm trying to like process everything. I just like watched it recently. I'm trying to pull like the thoughts here what I liked about it. Okay, so like I said, I like the fact that the band goes from an unknown quantity to a major one. I like all the characters in the story. They all seemed real and likable, and I don't think anyone inherently is bad in the story. Well, okay, there's a couple people, but the main characters, I understand like their gripes. They go through a lot of infighting in certain parts of the story, which made sense to me given how everyone has different conflicts and of interest they're working on. And so I kind of like that. Everyone kind of felt like real characters. Everyone has said that this anime, and I would agree to this, they all feel like real people when you're watching it. There's no like caricatures. There's no people who are being hyperbolic for sake of being hyperbolic. Everyone just felt real and authentic. And even though maybe some parts are obviously unrealistic, obviously becoming successful and famous isn't like that possible, but their journey to there made sense. Kayuki's journey from going from a shy, wimpy kid to someone who stands up for himself, and even does something crazy in the story, which I won't say what it is, but I was like, whoa. Even his own band members were like, I could have never done that. And when you watch the story from like day one or episode one till now, you can't believe he did either. So you feel like you kind of grew with him as well. And it's a very, it's nice progress. There's funny scenes in it. Like besides the swearing, there's like just subtle moments where the acting is perfect. I watched the dub, like I said, and the dubbing for this show is excellent. I might even argue this is one of the best dubs I've ever watched of any anime, which is kind of surprising because I've seen a lot. I just feel like every actor put their all into it. Like there are certain scenes where characters had to express how they felt angrily or in sadness, and it was authentic. There are many anime I've watched, even like the big ones, where it just didn't felt that way. One quick example was when I watched Bleach. There's a famous scene where Ichigo goes crazy. I won't say why because you haven't watched it. And the one who played Orihime, she's a very good voice actress, she's done a lot of great roles in her life, but it didn't feel very authentic. It was kind of like, she's supposed to like, she's going to die and she's Ichigo to come in there and save him. And her tone seemed very, it wasn't like, you need to come help me or I'm going to die. It was more like, well, I mean, if you come tomorrow or maybe next week I'll be okay. It wasn't as serious. But in Beck, when the characters get angry, it's very authentic and it never felt over the top. It was perfect. This dub was fantastic, which is kind of sad too, because I don't think most people watch the show or will watch the show, which is, it is what it is. I would obviously, in case you can't tell, I'd obviously recommend this anime. I definitely enjoyed it. Now, I want to discuss some possible negative things about the story. The first thing I would say is, and this is going to surprise everyone when I say this, there is a little bit of fan service in this story. Now, it's not, which by the way pissed me off. Now, the fan service is not like a typical ecchi story like High School of the Dead or Rosario Vampire. I don't know. There's like so many. There's like new one I saw recently when it comes to ecchi. It was about this, what was it? There's the world's coming to an end or something, and they need this guy to reproduce with all these women. Right. So it's not like a typical ecchi type of fan service, but it still was uncomfortable at the same time. Basically, Maho's character, and again, I was saying in the beginning, like I have mixed feelings about her, but basically, Maho is, I believe she's 16 years old. I can confirm that. Let me just check her profile real quick. I believe she's 16. She might be 14 at the time, because this story takes place between like middle school and high school. So let me just click on her name real quick here. Okay, she's 14 years old, which is, okay, that's even worse than what I thought. So she's 14 years old, and she posts in her like underwear for magazines. And I understand that Japan, the standards for consent and all that stuff is lower than America, but I'm not going to lie and tell you that I was like completely comfortable looking at a 14-year-old posing in her underwear. And I don't know why the show had to go this direction. I know that Maho and Ryusuke aren't exactly the high ground for morality. They do a lot of things in the story that are definitely not. But I don't know why they had to go that route with the character. There's even the guy who actually trains Kayuki to swim, Saito. He actually has a bunch of like women pictures, because he's kind of pictures of women. What I meant to say, he's kind of a pervert. Although he does get a girlfriend towards the end. That's not a huge spoiler. You'll forget about it since I said it. Anyhow, he has photos of Maho actually in her underwear. And I'm thinking, what's more disturbing? The fact that Maho took these photos, or the fact this guy has these photos? In either way you look at it, it was kind of disturbing. I don't think it was necessary for the story. I understand this is a sign-in. I assume it's a sign-in, so the mature content is kind of, I guess expected, par for the course. But I don't know if putting her, helped or not. I think she's sexually promiscuous. I can't confirm that in the story because they never fully stated it, but you can kind of tell based on her behavior, like she'll go from one person to another, at least as friends. I don't know if she's doing more than that. So it's a gray area. This is obviously a very nitpicky thing, and also it's going to vary from person to person. Some people might watch a story and not look at it or even care. This is just something that bothers me when I'm watching it. And the other thing, too, with the fan service, not really a fan service thing, but when she goes to Kayuki's house in a certain episode, I won't say which one or what the reasons, Ryusuke gives Kayuki like a condom to bang his sister. Now, this is weird, I guess. I don't know if it's a bad or a good thing, but usually when you watch anime, siblings are generally very protective over others, especially in romantic entanglements. And keep in mind that, Ryusuke and Maho don't have like parents in their lives. I forgot what the reason was, but their parents, they live with their grandmother. So there's no like father figure. So Ryusuke is kind of a father figure to Maho, sort of. It's complicated. They don't really like each other either. It's a very strange relationship. But anyhow, for him to tell Kayuki, here's some condoms, bang my sister, I don't even care. I wasn't expecting that. I've never seen that in an anime before, so that was kind of weird. Again, it's one thing where it's like I'm noticing stuff you probably didn't. So that's more of a personal preference. One more I guess I'll mention is that there's a certain, so Kayuki, I forgot to mention, he's like, there are different women he could have ended up with in this story. It's not a harem, okay, it's not a harem, but there are like 3 women in the story who he really liked, and I think they liked him equally, and he could have picked anyone to be with. He picked one, and I wasn't happy with that decision. I felt like the person he picked wasn't kind to him. Often throughout the story, she would lead him astray, got him embarrassed a couple times. she was with him for convenience. It didn't feel like it was the right person. I know nobody would ever watch a video on this, but I would love to do a discussion on the relationship between him and the girl he chose, and discuss like why it's not a good choice for him, and if he grew a spine and stood up for himself, which unfortunately Kayuki, as much as I like the character, I won't lie, if you tell him to do something and you have enough authority, he'll listen to you. That's one of the problems with him. Like he stands up for himself in terms of like people attacking him, but he's still easily persuaded to do all kinds of stuff which he probably shouldn't be doing. That's just me looking at it from like a top, which is, I guess, is a fair perspective. Maybe it's not. So again, these are all personal things I didn't like. Now, I think more of an objective thing. Again, nothing's really objective here, but the ending of this story wasn't very good. I'm not going to say why it wasn't good, but it wasn't good. And if you're going to watch the story, just keep in mind the ending is not going to be satisfactory. You're going to walk away very disappointed. And it's not just because the manga, as you know, wasn't, maybe you don't know, but it wasn't finished when they finished the anime. It's a classic problem in all these stories, like Claymore or even the original Fullmetal Alchemist. Pick the show you want where the manga was ongoing and the anime wasn't finished, so they had to come up with some BS way to end the story. Normally, these shows would do like a slice of life ending of some sort, where they don't really progress the story, but they show everyone's kind of having a good time, and so it's like the classic read the manga to learn more. But with Beck, they chose an even lazier approach, and I couldn't believe they ended the story the way they did. If they were going to go that approach, they should have just ended it 2 episodes ago, or change the story if they wanted to. I mean, I hate Fullmetal Alchemist, or really hate, or despise it, but at least they made a brand new story that had an ending. It wasn't the greatest ending, but at least they ended the story. If they had no intention to wait for Beck to finish the manga, then they should have just made their own ending or something. Because I was very annoyed because they were clearly building up to something, and the ending was just it wasn't too great. Now, to be fair, I'm judging the anime's ending, not the manga's ending, so I like to read that and find out how that ended. Which, by the way, the manga is now finally finished. So if they ever want to go back and Brotherhood the story, they totally could, and I would really appreciate if they did. But they won't, because no one knows what Beck even is, as it is for most of these anime. And because of that, I was going to give the anime originally a 9 out of 10, because I absolutely loved it, aside from my own personal nitpicks with it. But unfortunately, they, because of that ending, at least in the anime, I have to give it at least an 8 out of 10, which is still very good. I mean, I still recommend the story, just keep in mind the ending is going to be a little disappointing, but it's still one of the most realist anime I've ever watched, one of the best dubs I've ever watched, one of the most down-to-earth story, down-to-earth characters, situations that I felt were very relatable. Many times the character would talk about topics. I'm like, yeah, I personally can not feel you, but I guess it's where I feel you for your situation, or empathize with these people, even though they're not even real characters. And there's just certain moments you're like, wow, it's just really good character growth. It's a very short anime too. I think it's like 26 episodes, and it's on Funimation if you want to watch it. And it's for free, by the way. You don't have to pay a subscription for dub or sub, which is always a nice thing. So that's my thoughts on Beck. I definitely don't regret watching it. It was a really good story. And compared to something like last week's review, like Bakurano, where that's a very depressing mecha mind break, this is more of a fun slice of life with some serious moments to a serious tone to it, where these characters are going to start a band and become famous. And one more thing I want to mention before I end the review: the intro to Beck is phenomenal. It's one of the best intros in anime, period. If I ever did like a top 20, 30, I don't know how many best intros, Beck would be on there. I never skipped it once. It's a very catchy song. The visual imagery is hilarious. It tells a story within a story. And I love intros that do that. Some intros, unfortunately, they take the lazy route and just show highlights from the story. Beck didn't do that. Very good, underrated anime. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Beck. So let's read some comments, and then we'll get on to episodes 22 and 23 of Code Geass R1. Which, man, those episodes, they're hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Going through it again, there's some. Well, you guys already know. We've seen the story many times, so it is what it is. All right, let's go up to the top and let's see. Are you a fan of the Transformer franchise? The reason I ask, I see a Transformers series with a tone of Code Geass where Autobots and Decepticons are in gray morality. Have you seen Beast Wars? Because Beast Wars was basically that story in a nutshell. If you haven't seen Beast Wars, well, you should, because Beast Wars is the reason Beast Wars was so good, not to go on a tangent here, but it was a story about the past where the Autobots and the Decepticons, they went back in the past. I believe it was to, God, it's been so long. What was it like? Was it the original Optimus Prime was there or something, so they could get a spark and win the war or something? I forgot the exact reason why, but they went back in the past, and the reason why that was so good is because there were no humans who were. They had like what was it? Early humans, I guess primates who were developing to be like cavemen almost, but I think he's doing lower than that. But there weren't actually quote unquote like humans as we know it. So the main characters were actually the robots themselves, and we got to actually learn about them as characters. And they, like you said here, there was some gray area between the characters, and so you actually felt bad for them. You could relate to them, and they had more time to just get more time to shine. Because the problem with the Transformer films, and now we're going to a really strange topic, but the Transformer films, is that it was too focused on the people. And most of the animations for Transformers focused on people. But I think the initial Transformers series, like just the robots, would make a good story. Because honestly, there's so much going on with that. The whole thing with Cybertron, the politics between the Autobots and the Decepticons, even the Decepticons, like they're always fighting among themselves for leadership. There's so many elements in play there that you don't need to have people. And I think that's the reason why the Unicron film was really good, because it didn't really focus on people. It focused on the machines. I don't want to watch a movie about people interacting with the robots. I want to see the robots interact with each other. And yeah, I don't know how we got this tangent. The point is, if you want to watch a story that's not just like Code Geass, but it has like seriousness about the robots and it has areas of gray and good character development, then definitely watch Beast Wars. Some people don't like the 3D animations. But those people, opinions don't count. So I would definitely recommend that one. If you haven't seen it, I don't even know where you can get it. I don't think they're even streaming it. You might be able to find it at a library or DVDs or who the heck knows. But man, Beast Wars, that was a fun time. It was like 8:30 Sunday mornings with Box Kids. That was my childhood growing up. Okay. That was a really long answer. I apologize. Now I can say I'm early. Sadly, I don't know if I can stay for much. It's okay. Think and play. Stay for as long as you can. Episodes 22 23 are very memorable. So I'm thankful that they found a way to get Euphy off of the show. But her death led to Suzaku becoming a close-minded jerk who betrayed Lelouch. Wow. That's... I don't hate Euphyema's character. I know I saw your tier list, and you put him... you put her... him. Her kind of low and didn't like... I think Euphiema had some issues for sure, but I think her intentions were in the right place. That's why I don't hate her as much as other characters, or at all, because at least unlike the rest of the Brittanian family, she actually acknowledged that her family was evil and what they were doing was wrong, and took steps to actually make an effort to change it. Many people in life will complain about any given thing, but she actually was like, you know what? This is not correct. I'm going to make the right change for it. So I respect that, even if the outcome wasn't the greatest. Or the Dead Man Wonderland and High School of the Dead that has a lot of cussing. High School of the Dead? Did it have a lot of cussing? You know what? It's not ringing a bell. I'm sure it did, but just Beck's was like on another level. I don't know if you read A Song of Fire, Ice and Fire, or watched Game of Thrones, but did the Saz Magic already? I've never watched Game of Thrones. Okay, that's not true. I watched one episode. I'm not interested. So... yeah, I heard that scene was really graphic when it happened, though, so I'll give you that. My friends were into Game of Thrones. I did take a long recap of the series from, what was it, Screen Junkies, but I don't know, I'm not interested in the story. I know people absolutely love Game of Thrones, even now, despite the fact that the last season was a complete joke, from what I understand. But, I'm sure there's some similarities, although that was a wedding. This was a military zone to unite, like, a special area where people, specifically 11s and Japanese, the same, I'm sorry, I was the same, 11s and Brittanians could be equals, and 11s would be called Japanese. Okay. I agree with this point right here, by the way. Yeah. Suzaku didn't, because it ended up helping him in the long run. Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, I don't want to discuss your guys' conversation publicly. I see. Beast Wars is great. What's your favorite character from Beast Wars? Ooh, that's a good one. Probably Dinobot or Megatron. That's a hard one. I love both those characters. Even Prime was fun. Oh, and of course, what's his name? Not Rat Tail. Rat Trap. Rat Trap. Especially like Megatron. He was like, I love the voice actor. He was always say like, yes. I love his like. He's just freaking love Megatron. I had when I was a little kid, I had his all the Transformers for him. So I had like the toys. I mean, I had the original T-Rex that transformed with like the squirt gun in the mouth. I had the first Transmetal where he had like the flame, not the flame, the rockets on him as a T-Rex. Although that one was cheaply made, like the T-Rex in the first season, it was like really big toy, and the Transmetal was like really tiny, and I broke it because I was an idiot. I always broke all my toys because I liked playing with them. Oh well, crime I guess. But yeah, I loved Rat Trap, Cheetor, definitely Dinobot, definitely Megatron. Oh, I liked Silverbolt. He was cool, and also and of course Tarantulas and the Black Widow. I forgot her name. She was pretty cool too. And there was a whole like relationship between her and Silverbolt, which again you wouldn't get that in a human focused story, but because it's with the robots, you got to see like Silverbolt and I forgot her name. The Black Widow. They joined force, which was kind of cool. They were actually in love with each other, I think, which is weird for robots, but I guess they can. I don't know. It was always fun in Beast Wars 2 when like a new pod was landing. You're like, who's the next toy going to be, or the next your Transformer? I always was so excited about who was going to be next. Yeah. Rampage was freaking. Rampage was disgusting. That thing was a monster, and oh my god. Okay, I gotta stop here. Okay, if we go into Beast Wars, man, that's a whole nother stream. I would love to have Beast Wars down the road after Code Geass. I loved Beast Wars, man. That was. Oh my god, that takes me back. Okay. It sounds so old. Okay, I liked Euphy, of course. It's okay if you didn't. Euphy spoke and acted so goody-goody that it came across as a bit tiresome. In my opinion, also, I don't like how she unintentionally led to Suzaku being so antagonist solution art too. I don't think that's really her fault, though, right? I mean, like, if we're being honest here, I don't think it was Euphy's fault. I don't think she, like, was... It's just that was... I don't think you can victim blame Euphy for Suzaku acting the way he did. I mean, in general life, I'm sure you know this, but the only thing you have control over is your actions, not other people. So Suzaku should have not acted that way at all. If you're going to argue, I'm not saying he shouldn't. Let me take a step back and rewind this tape. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have acted that way. I'm just saying if you're going to argue you think he shouldn't have, I don't know how that's Euphy's fault. She wasn't like, if I die, Suzaku, make sure you kill Lelouch. I mean, it wasn't like, that never happened in the story, as far as I know. Maybe there was a alternative ending or picture drama or OVA, God knows. But Euphy would never want that at all. So I don't know if that's a fair take on it. I understand what you're saying. I do. But that was an unintended consequence. I don't think you can say that. But I mean, it's your opinion, obviously. I don't necessarily agree, but look, Euphy is creepy, okay? I won't lie. Some of the expression he makes in the story, they're kind of creepy. And I mentioned, like, my prettiest women for Code Geass. I didn't put her on the list. I didn't find her to be that attractive looking. She's kind of weird. So I'm not going to, like, she has, like, these weird kinks where she thinks she talks to cats and she acts kind of strange. I mean, Euphy isn't my favorite character for many reasons, but to blame her for Lelouch's actions isn't really fair. If anything, Lelouch screwed up big time. I mean, granted, his Geass was an accident, but he still put himself in that situation where something could have happened, and he wasn't ignorant. He knew that the Geass could one day overtake him. He knew all this information, and he still went to go encounter Euphiema in the G1 base. So, a good lesson of life is you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can fail, regardless of what the situation is. At the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, if you didn't put yourself in that situation, would it have happened? And the answer is no. So it's not entirely Euphemia's fault for getting the Geass command. Obviously, not her fault. It's Lelouch's fault. All of it is, okay? At the end of the day. But maybe some don't agree, but I can't really, frame it in a direction. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll go into this. I feel like we're giving an argument for instead of discussing episodes, we're just going to argue about this for 30 minutes, 1 hour. I think it's interesting that Charlie and Dito were happy about Euphemia's murder spree. Actually, so was Rakshata, but Schneider was horrified. I feel like Schneider has moral, but was too crazy to realize he was evil. Yes, this is actually something I'm going to discuss later on, but Schneider's response to the massacre was absolutely bizarre to me because this is the same guy who has said, has no problem killing people for his own ends and manipulates others for his greater good. Yeah, watching a bunch of dead people, people get killed, kind of bothered him, and I wasn't sure why. It was really weird. Kind of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, Yugi Grams. Yugi, kill that son of it. Replace Graph with Euphy and Yu-Gi-Oh! Suzaku. You watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge? Oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged. Little Karibo, man. That guy started a whole revolution. I don't think there's been many good abridged shows since Yu-Gi-Oh! There was obviously Team 4-Star did some stuff, and Purple Eyes WTF did some stuff, and then there was a couple small things here and there, but as far as I know, there wasn't like any big, besides Team 4-Star and Purple Eyes, I can't think of any other companies that came on YouTube that did like dubbing the same way. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, that was a fun show. The guy, I think he I think Little Karibo has done like stuff here and there. I think he took a long hiatus. Maybe one day he'll come back and finish the story. But he released an episode a couple years ago, and he hasn't done anything since. I know he's dealing with like depression and stuff, so I completely get it. If his health is way more important than our entertainment, if he has stuff to take care of, we should take care of it. That's obviously more important. But if one day he wanted to, though, I would love to see him finish the story, because there's so many more awesome things to talk about in that story, because it just, yeah. All right, I listen. My screen decided to act on its own. Much better. All right, let's get into these episodes. One more comment. Okay, maybe Schneisel's the type of person that's willing to do bad things but can't stand it when other people do similar things. I guess. His response was just so over the top. Anywho, let's get into the episodes. So, just from a recap from last week, in case you guys don't remember, which you should, but in case you didn't, Euphy announced the SAS, which is going to be a place where 11s and Brittanians will be equals, and they won't be called 11s, they'll be called Japanese people. And this ruins Lucia's plans because they were fighting for equality, and if this special administrative zone goes into place, then basically they have nothing to fight for anymore. They'll be considered equals amongst the Brittanians. And that's, by the way, why Schneider supported it. He told Euphy, follow your dreams, Euphy. Do what you got to do. But in reality, he was really like, look, I don't really care about your dreams, Euphy. You're just kind of there, whatever. But if we follow this, the Black Knights are screwed. And that's all I care about. So that's kind of what I liked, what I noticed about Schneider's character. So you see Suzaku and Euphiema are talking about people signing up. And Suzaku's like, I'll help you out, Euphy, as like your knight. And she's like, no. We're dating, remember? And he's like, oh yeah, that's right. Now, she didn't say we're dating, but she basically said, help me out as like my lover, not my servant or soldier. So you can see these two are obviously very close, which kind of makes what happens next in the story depressing. But again, it's a tragedy and makes the story interesting, I guess. All right, so we through all the opening scenes. Here's how the SAS looks like. It's a nice football field, I guess, if they have football in Brittania. I assume they do. You see Nina kind of sitting here, and she's just kind of speculating about all this stuff. Now, I think I mentioned, So Nina says that if Euphy's okay with this, helping the Japanese people, she's like, yeah, I'm okay with it too. Which is interesting that she can give her racism if the person she admires also isn't racist, which makes you wonder if there was any like. It's not a bad thing, obviously. People influence others to change their point of view. Although I do find it interesting that she that she decided to give her racism because because the person she admired was doing it as well. Now there's a part here, I don't know why I don't have an image of it. That's really strange. Okay, well, I don't have it. I'll have to pull up the episode because there is a. Hold on, I want to discuss something. Let me just. Not a side, like 1 second. You gotta be kidding me. Where was it? It was really interesting. Okay, so I don't have the image of it. That's really frustrating. 1 second. We interrupt this program so I can find the video to show you what I was talking about. Give me a second here. All right. Nope. I don't want that. Nope. Top 10. 22. Let me mute the sound. Okay, and also while we're here, let me do some little more cleanup here. First of all, Let's put the echo canceller on because my radio might go off. And let me change the banner, which I never used to begin with because I'm so smart, to episode 22. Okay, cool. Did some little cleanup there. Now, let's get to the part. Yes, so early on in this episode, well, maybe I do have it. I didn't know no, I don't. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I don't have it. Okay. So early in the episode, there's this part where the people, these are like the high, how do I put this? These are these officials, they're ministers who work in Britannia, and they don't support Euphiema. They think that because of what happened at Common Island, they don't want to support it. Maybe some with Suzaku, which they're not wrong, by the way, but they are rival for the wrong reasons. Anyhow, they want to distance themselves from Euphiema, and then this happens. Dalton and Bartley find that they've been taking bribes from Kyoto. Now, you're probably wondering if you watched this episode, like, okay, what the heck is going on here? Well, remember many, many episodes ago, I believe it was after episode 12. In episode 12, they were discussing with the same people. Let me show you that image real quick. From episode 12, very early on, right here, they were talking to Cornelia about why they couldn't attack the Kyoto. And they were saying stuff like how they fund the Jedi's operation. They got too many inside people. We couldn't do anything about it. They're still going back and forth. And the guy is like sweating profusely because he doesn't really know he can't really defend himself. So they finally figured out that these people were taking bribes from Kyoto, and they got them all arrested, and they were obviously screwed because of it. So the whole time, this conspiracy was going on in the background, and they finally revealed it. So this episode, or this beginning, was a follow-up to that. I kind of would have liked to have seen more with this subplot, but it was interesting that if you were paying attention to the story, they resolved a critical element that was happening behind the scenes. I respect the fact that they didn't forget about that, and they actually finished it off. So that was kind of interesting. We get to a scene with Schneisel and Cornelia, and they're discussing, again, the whole special administrative zone, and it looks like the Schneisel's giving Cornelia the people's eyebrow. He's giving it the people's eyebrow. And he was saying that, if we do this, we're going to make all the, what's it called? The Black Knights not have a reason to fight anymore. Disarm them, basically. Ruin their whole cause. And that's what I said in the beginning when Schneisel told Euphy, follow your heart. What he was really thinking was, if we follow this, we're going to defeat the Black Knights. So that was his mindset going in. It wasn't so much to help out Euphy. I don't think Euphy. I mean, he definitely cared about her as a older brother, but more importantly, it benefited him to do this, which is why he did it. Cornelia, on the other hand, is not okay with this, although she did approve it, which is interesting. And he said, did you do it because of Euphy, or did you do it, or because you're siblings or whatever? And she kind of takes pause and thinks about it. Because Cornelia does show some favoritism towards Euphy. At the same time, though, as I mentioned in previous streams, she also kind of doesn't really care about her thoughts. As Euphy even said herself, Cornelia and Schneisel don't listen to me or take me seriously. So it's like a weird combination where Cornelia will take her advice sometimes, but generally doesn't like it. Then we get to a scene which I absolutely love. So we have the House of Kyoto talking to Taizo Kirihara, and they're saying, wait a minute, we heard during that special spot in the SAS if you join up with them. And he said, that's not true at all. I would never betray you guys. Never betray you guys. How would you even think that? Even though, spoiler alert, he betrays them. And because, again, he was going to get a nice spot in the zone. Then we move on to probably one of the best conversations in the entire Code Geass story. I mean R1 and R2, because you have the Black Knights talking about how to handle the situation. There's no clear answer. And I love the dialogue back and forth. I made like notes of it like twice now, or twice in my my notes here, where it's like every single time that they discuss this conversation, it's just really great because they're going back and forth like, what do we do here? If we support this, then we have to disarm. Which I love what Chiba said there. She said, if we do this, we're gonna have to disarm. We can't ignore this because if we're fighting against it, then we're against freedom and what was it? What did Tito say? Freedom and something else. And Colin's like, we can't trust these people. And Asahina's like, yeah, of course we can't trust these people. But Ogi's like, yeah, but I get to sleep with this every night, so I want to have the zone so we can become a thing. This is, by the way, this is very important. This is the first time in the story, no, second time, where Ogi prioritizes women over his friends, which, as you know, the old expression, bros before hoes, but I guess Ogi doesn't feel that way. And this is important too, by the way, as a character development, because this is a good foreshadowing for later on in the story where he will do it again, where he'll prioritize his own personal feelings over others, because, regardless of if he believes it or not, the reason why he wants this task to go through is because he wants to be with Valletta there. That's why he said, we can't ignore it. That's why he was specifically saying we should join, we should support it, because the Black Knights support this stuff, even though they don't necessarily do that, because I thought the Black Knights were supposed to destroy Brittania, not make peace with them. Like, the whole idea was like, we don't want to be under their rule, because even if they do this whole SAS and they agreed with it, they're still under Brittanian rule. They're just acknowledged as equals, but they're still under Brittanian. They don't have their own rulership or autonomy, rather. So they're not really getting what they want, what the Black Knights were fighting for. So I'm not sure what Ogi meant by that. But more importantly, I just love the whole conversation where they're going back and forth and discussing what is the right answer. We can't ignore this, but we should do something about it. And detailed again, like him, Todu, and Ogi, like their back and forth discussion was good. Even Rakshata is pretty politically savvy. I mean, it's just it's quite interesting. They're all talking about this, and Lucia's not even in the room, and he doesn't have to be, because you're seeing his superior, or not superiors, his subordinates discussing stuff. And if I mentioned, I don't know, numerous times already in this story, I wish there was more of this in the anime, because when these people are discussing politics, it's good conversation. This one in 19, I believe. What was it, in 12 or 11? Or maybe it was 13. I forget which one. But anytime they discuss the politics behind different stuff, it's always fascinating stuff. They don't do enough of it, but when they do it, it's pretty good. And ultimately, they can't come to a conclusion, because if they support it, then they are what? If they don't support it, they're against like freedom and equality. But they also don't want to disarm, because they're a military force. So they don't know what to do about it. Meanwhile, Lelouch also has no idea what to do about it, and he's talking to Rivel, and he's saying, we had to go shopping, and Lelouch is like, yeah, whatever. And then he said if he goes hangs out with Shirley, which they're going to go on a date, by the way, and that's not important, but they do mention it. And so he might have to go shopping with her as well. They run into this guy being a Japanese person, because, he's Japanese, and he doesn't acknowledge the SAS. Lelouch uses Geass on the bodyguard to make him go away. He was going to use Geass on the guy as well to do something awful to him, but Rivel got on the way, so he closed his eye and turned off the Geass too. Meanwhile, Shirley watches from afar and notices that why would Lelouch defend a Japanese person? He must be Zero. Because there's no other explanation, by the way, because that one letter. Also, for some reason, they don't actually go on their date, and they don't explain why. Apparently, Shirley never showed up, but she's literally right here. My only conclusion is that she must have got nervous about it or something. They don't really explain what happened. Hopefully, you guys don't hear my radiator going off right now. I tried to put on the echo cancelator. Let's see. This enables auto feature. Hopefully, you guys don't hear it. If you hear my if you hear the radiator going on, let me know. Anywho, we get to this scene, which I mentioned earlier on, which is where Taizo was talking to Dalton, and Dalton basically said, look, you give us the mining rights, and you'll get a position in the new SAS. And Taizo's like, oh, crap, if I do that, then I'll have to cut ties with the Black Knight. So basically, Dalton put this guy in check. He said, you'll get everything you want, but we want the mining rights. If they have the rights to the what's it called, Securitite mines, I mean, that's not good. That would basically be the end of everything. So it's Dalton, very politically savvy here. By the way, I want to know how he got this scar. That'd be a good OVA. Lelouch comes back after a hard day of work, and Nelly asks, what happened to Shirley? And he says, well, she never showed up. We never know why she didn't show up, but she never showed up. He takes his clothes off, and he has this really interesting, it's like a hanger that opens up mechanically. I don't know, it's a weird, bizarre device. Anyhow, he puts it out there. They talk about Euphy and how they both love her as siblings, I assume. And that's right. He said, I did love her. He was so pissed off because remember in the last episode, Lelouch was really angry at Euphy because of what she did. Even though Euphy didn't even know what she did. It's kind of funny. I know we don't have the stream to do comments, but welcome, Phoenix. Welcome to the stream, man. Okay. Anyways, so see this face. This is the phase when your siblings betray you and they didn't even know they're betraying you. I did love Euphy. There's other times also where like there was an earlier part 2 in stage 21 where again he's like, Euphemia, why would you do this? Even though that's what I guess they were fighting for, but they weren't. Again, it's confusing. All right, so we move on to the near future of the story, and we see to the fact that these stats is filled up with people. If I had a guess, and I didn't count them, I'm not that crazy. I think there must be. They said there was 200,000 people were initially signed up for this, and there could be more than that. I don't know the exact number of people that were in the SAS at any given time, but based on this one image we have with the aerial view, I don't know, 200,000, 300,000. It was jam-packed with people, which is quite impressive. And then you see a bunch of, I guess, noble people. I'm not sure who they are. They're nameless. And Euphy had to make a statement. Before that, though, we see the Chinese Federation and the AU were discussing, hey, would Zero show up? I think it's funny that like the how to put this, everyone was like, Zero wasn't a big icon in Japan or Brittanian. Everyone was aware of the action, including the EU and the Chinese Federation. So everyone's watching this like a show almost. Like, will Zero show up? I don't think he will. They're like, we know Zero. He won't be here. Don't worry about it. And again, we get another aerial shot of it. Again, I think it's like must be 200, 300,000 people. Before Euphiema got a chance to make a speech, Zero appears in one of those epic scenes you'll ever see. He's literally standing on top of the Gwain. And I love this image of him. There's like 3 in the story where he rides on a nightmare frame. There's this one, stage 23. That's it. Turn 23, my bad. The Shinkira wasn't in the show at this time. And also the Borai in, I think it was 19. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite shots of Zero in the entire story. It's just such an epic scene. And he wants to request a private audience with Euphiema. And Ty's like, what are you doing here, you fool? I'll have to die. I thought I'd take our identity to the grave. And of course, now I won't have to. You insane man. And Dalton's even admitting, you must admit you've lost. That's why you're here. I say it's my Travis Willingham voice. And then ultimately, Lelouch lands and they talk, which is, or they eventually talk. I forgot to mention that, I see, my phone's got messed up. All right, never mind. So they're watching the stream, like you guys are, a different one, obviously. They didn't let Llyod or Cecile be there because if they're there, then they won't let the Lancelot show up, or the Lancelot would also be there. Ergo, Lelouch wouldn't come because the Lancelot's scary. Even though the Gwain is stronger than the Lancelot, but whatever. They had to take the precautions. These guards scan Lelouch for metal, but dear God, they should have strip searched him. This is one of the most dangerous men in the world, and you just do a metal detector test? You know what? The people responsible for Euphemia's death are these security guards. What a bunch of idiots. They should have done a full body thing to find a weapon. Lelouch pulled it out with the greatest of ease. So how these two didn't notice is a big failure on that part. So if you want to blame anyone for Euphemia's death or the whole situation with Suzaku, it's these idiots' fault. I'm, of course, being hyperbolic, but there's some truth to that. Euphiema obviously doesn't worry because she knows it's Lelouch. So what's to be worried about? We see Ogi in the grass with all the other Black Knight members, as you see here. And, Ogi's like, Zero said we'd have to be here if something bad happens. And Todu says he predicted that Zero was going to assassinate Euphemia. So Zero, got these names. Todu knew that Zero was going to assassinate Euphemia, so he planned on this occurring. It was a forced event. So Ogi was like, I'm not sure why we're here. Todo's like, I know what's going to happen. He's going to kill Euphemia. I know exactly what's going to happen here. So they turn off the lights and to cameras and stuff, and so he pulls out the gun, saying, what happens if you would shoot me? Riding, I would imagine. And he's like, yes, that's what's going to happen. She was like, why would you do that? Are you an idiot? Like, why are you doing this? Before that, though, before she says the comments, Suzaku sees C2, and she's wondering why he can see her. Now, if you remember in in stage 19, there's a part where Suzaku is staring onto space because of what happened with the Geass. I assume that was V2's influence. So she speculates the reason why he can see her is because of either Narita, maybe it was because of V2, but she kind of knows people who have been touched by Geass or influenced by it. So I assume that's why that's why he can see her. Of course, I'm not sure what it means Lelouch could see her, but that's a whole nother. Yeah, Geass is kind of complicated. We're not going to go into that. But anyhow, she gets out of the nightmare frame, and we'll go back to that scene later. Anyhow, back to this. So Euphemia and Lelouch are talking about this, and she says, like, why would you cause the rioting and stuff? Like, are you crazy? Let's just work together. And he's like, I wanted to do this myself, and you took it away from me. And Lelouch is like really pissed off at Euphemia. Again, like there's a bunch of reasons why. I think one of them was, besides the whole idea that she's destroying everything he was working towards, but also that she took Suzaku away from him, and he wants Suzaku to take care of Nunnally, and he can't do that if he's with Euphemia. At least that's how I interpret it. I don't think Nunnally had any romantic feelings towards Suzaku. I think it was just like protection. If she's with Euphemia, or if he's with Euphemia, he can't be with Nunnally. Because he was really pissed off when like Nunnally mentioned they make a good couple, and he was like, he was really pissed. So I think there's a lot of things going on in this man's mind. And again, his eyes kind of flaring up because he realized that Geass is overpowering him. Which, by the way, you would have think that if that was happening, he would have again exited the building. There were clear signs that something was obviously wrong here, but Lelouch still continued the current course of action, which is why I said in the beginning of this, Lelouch is the one who screwed up here. Even if he didn't know at this point his Geass power could have possibly overtake him, the fact that he put himself in a situation where it could, was obviously his own fault. C2 said, tell me, are you the one? And in the film, she said, do you know V2? And that's what she was trying to say here, because how could Suzaku be close to Geass? Because, again, he was influenced by V2, which is how he got to Kamina Island. And she knows that the power of the Geass is overwhelming Lelouch. She sensed it as well. She puts Suzaku in a weird, she knocks him out with the images, and then the guards touch her as well, and the same thing occurs. I don't know where C2 went this whole time. I've often speculated why she wouldn't go and help Lelouch, like jump into the G1 base. There were no guards. Everyone was unconscious. She should have gone in there to stop him. Yeah, I mean, the Saz, there's like so many what-if questions. It is what it is, I guess. So Lelouch is, of course, freaking out. His eye is glowing. I guess Euphemia doesn't see it, which I've always wondered about Geass in general. Do you see, like, if the Geass power at all, or it's, like, only for the fans? That's another discussion for another time. Anyhow, eventually Euphemia says, like, I'm not going to be, Euphemia lead Brittania. I give a name to the throne because I want to make a world for all of us to live together in peace, because all she ever wanted was us to go back to the way things were. Even though Lelouch doesn't think it could ever be that way. And ultimately, despite all his best attempts to fight with her, he gives up and says we'll work together. Especially because she was doing this for Nunnally. And Lelouch even says, like, I'm smarter than you. And she goes, you are. I was never your match intellectually. But emotionally, Euphy clearly outsmarted him because she knows his one weakness. And again, I don't think she was specifically targeting this weakness. But if you look at it from her point of view, or from not her point of view, from a macro point of view, she defeated him using the one weakness he had, which was Nunnally. So he had no choice to work with her. They shake hands and agree to do this. And then, of course, because these things can't last forever, something bad is about to happen. Although in this moment, it was really nice because this is the third and final time Euphy and Lelouch would actually talk as siblings. There was obviously the time in 19, and there was 21 when they were at the festival, and then this, and that's it. And he says, like, if people want to do something, I can make them do it, and there's like nothing they can do about it. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, if I told you to, kill the Japanese people, and then, bam, it happens. Euphemia's reaction, by the way, besides Nunnally's, was the only other person in the story who ever resisted Geass in that way. Most of our members of the family, or really anyone in general, just did the command right away. But Euphy and Nunnally didn't, and because they both were so, how do I put this? It was so opposite to their own beliefs, and they just couldn't do it. And then Lelouch realized, oh my God, I'm just like Mao, I lost control of my Geass. Now, there are so many questions I have with this scene. I'm not sure if I'm going to discuss all of them right now, but I understand why Lelouch didn't pin her down, why C2 didn't get involved. There are so many things that could have been done better. I wonder if Lelouch was in shock. I don't know what it was, because she ran away and Lelouch could have stopped her, or he didn't really do anything. It was a very strange situation. And even strange, they go to the scene where Schneider's talking to Bartley about Jeremiah. And I'm like, I mean, interesting, but who gives a fudge? And then you see Euphemia kind of running away. Actually, as a more mature note on this, I guess they had introduced Jeremiah again, his updates, because he's a cyborg and what's going on with that. But again, it was just kind of a random segue. So Euphemia is running, and Lucius again going after her, but he could have pinned her down even before this. She runs out, and she tells the Japanese people, um, "Can you please die?" And they're like, "What? Oh, you're not killing yourselves? Oh, that's too bad." So she shoots one of them, this poor person here. And of course, Dalton's like, cut the cameras and stop. And Euphemia, what are you doing? And she shoots him, which, God, Dalton, man, this guy can't catch a break. So she shoots him, and she just starts massacring people. Now, here's something disturbing about this episode, right? Forget the fact that Euphemia killed the Japanese people. It is what it is. But what always bothered me about this scene is how the Brittanian soldiers just followed this order without questioning it whatsoever. Like, Dalton was the only guy in his entire military was like, what on earth are you doing? We're not killing the Japanese people. The whole point of this was to destroy the Black Knights by creating a place where Japanese people could be considered equals, ruining their entire reason for fighting. And for some reason, the rest of the Britannians still were like, kill the Japanese people? Let's do it. It just shows you that in the long run, this probably wouldn't have worked out. Because if these people only need a simple command to go and kill thousands of innocent people, it just shows these people did not respect the Japanese, and they would have. They're only doing it because they're told to. The racism would never have stopped at all. That's what I got from that whole scene. It was just so crazy. They went from like protecting them to killing them within seconds, and again, no one questioned it at all. They even went as far to kill Suzaku. Like one guy was like, "Hey, wait, you're right here. You're an 11, aren't you?" And he fires at him, which by the way, Suzaku can dodge gunfire, so he lived. But still, it's like these people just, man, it just goes to show how racist this country was to Japanese people, and how the only person who really believed in this was Euphemia and no one else. It's really messed up. I mean, obviously the command is awful and the people dying, but man, the trigger finger on these people was disgusting. Yeah, this is one of the most you're just seeing people dying, and they're like, "What's going on? What's happening?" We don't know, obviously, what's happening in this situation. Well, we do, but the people outside don't know. And Lucius again is watching people die at his own hands, and he doesn't know what to do about it. This woman's like, "Help us, Zero! You're our only hope." And Zero's like, "No, do I have to bear this burden too? I'm not a savior. I'm not a messiah. I'm an awful human being, just a bad person." You see this kid crying. It's just this whole scene is just a freaking mess. And I got some questions I'm going to say after about this too, which we'll get to. Then Dalton's like, "You bastard, what'd you do to Euphy?" And Zero, I assume this was a scene where he told Dalton, it's kind of a weird command, but I guess, "When I lead my rebellion against the Brittannians, I want you to get in your nightmare frame. Come to the top of the government bureau or wherever I'm at. Take out Cornelia and deliver her into my hands." Dalton's probably thinking, okay. And so he gives it. I assume this is where the command was given to him. Meanwhile, all the Black Knight members are obviously in horror of what's happening, because it's just they just can't believe what's happening here, especially Kallen. She's saying, "Well, what's going on in town? Like, what's happening on the radio?" And he's like, "We don't know. We're trying to figure it out." And there was whole feed of this, and the TV men were trying to cut it. But Rock Shada, I forgot this guy's name, and Dieter, they posted to the web. And Dieter's like, "I don't know how you did this, Zero, but you helped us all out." And it's just crazy stuff. Like, Dieter is a sociopath. We always talk about how Lloyd's a sociopath, but Dieter has to be one too, because he literally does not care how many people die to make this revolution happen. Then we get a scene of the Gawain and Lucius talking to C2, which I mentioned several times now, especially in the recent video of the CBR response. But basically, he's saying I didn't want to use it on her, and there were risks with the Geass power. Of course, if Lucius knew about these risks and I was acting up, shouldn't he have left the G1 base? But is what it is. Then Charles is laughing like a maniac, and I think he says "You're worthy to be called my child." And I don't know who the heck he was referring to, because I assume at this point he knows Luch has the Geass ability. He talked to Clovis early on in the story. I think it was stage 6, or he was saying, "I talked to Clovis at the Sword of Akasha, Thought Elver," one of those two. And if he's talking to Clovis, he knows about C2. If he knows about C2, then he knows Luch had the Geass power because he used it on Clovis. So I'm not sure who Charles was talking about. I guess it was Euphemia, but it's kind of a strange scene. It's not, I don't know. Some people think it's stupid. Yeah, I kind of get that. We see a mother dead with her baby in her arms. Yeah, this is a very graphic part. Cornelia is going out to battle. Meanwhile, Suzaku is looking for Euphy because he can't find her, which is, yeesh. not the greatest. Uh, he takes out the nightmare frame to go find her in the landslaw with the float attached unit. Yeah, the float unit. Meanwhile, Kyoto is running away, and they're distancing themselves from Taizo Kirihara, and Kage is like, you know what, you guys are awful. If what's the point of us surviving if we're the only ones that survive? And they're like, listen, Kaguya, you're only in rank as a name, but besides that, you're nothing. We had to survive. It's like, what's the point? You guys are idiots. And just right, by the way. It's who said this? It's not a nation without people. I think that was from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was Ling. I think he told Bradley, it's not a nation without people. So Kaguya had the same belief. For what is she, like 13 years old? She's pretty smart. She knows her stuff. Then we get to the South Park episode where C2 tells Lelouch, what are we going to do? And Lelouch is like, okay, we have to kill Euphiema. She's our enemy. And he blasts a bunch of helicopters with his the Headcanon. I think I pronounced that correctly. The Headcanon. And again, he's really upset. And I didn't mention this in my CBR review or discussion, but I should have. Lelouch, when he's first given the command to go kill Euphiema, he's like breaking down. But when he actually gets to the very end of the episode, when you get to the end rather, he's literally crying. He's saying, kill Euphiema. We must do it. And he's like, he doesn't want to do it. He never wanted to give Euphiema that command. At least, I'll say as much. In the moment he gave her the command, he didn't want to do it. But don't be mistaken, though. He went into that confrontation with the intent to give her the command. The only reason why he did is because Euphiema convinced him that it would be better if he didn't, because ultimately surrendering to the special military zone of Japan would help Nunnally, would be beneficial for both of them, which is all Lelouch actually cared about. If you think about it, this is the first of 2 times Lelouch betrays the Black Knights, at least in action. Obviously, not revealing who he is was a betrayal in and of itself, but he was basically going to sell the whole Black Knights for Nunnally's sake, because as Chiba said, they would have to disarm, including Rakshata, who wanted to keep doing it for research and actually didn't want to do that. So he was actually going to take the decision out of their hands to do this. Especially when Todu said he thought he was going to assassinate Euphiema, and most people were kind of going into that point of view, or with that perspective. So Lelouch was going to give away all the Black Knights for Nunnally. The first of 2 times, by the way. Now, it didn't happen, so no one knows about it, but the fans do. And I find that interesting that Lelouch was going to give up the whole Black Knights for this. Which is another video I was commenting on, not mine. It was another YouTuber, I won't say his name, but I was like, I think he didn't watch the show because this scene happened. And then before that actual part, you see Yogi's freaking out, Urbei's pretty serious, and Suzaku is looking for Euphiema. And that's the episode. I mean, it went from there's a scene from, Anchorman. I know it's probably over. It's a dead meme at this point. But in Anchorman where Rod Burgundy's like, man, that escalated quickly. That really escalated quickly. Yeah, it did. It went from let's work together to, what, if I told you to kill giant people, you would totally do it. She's like, I don't want to do it. And wait, what? No, I was just kidding. And then, yeah, disaster struck. This was, when I first watched this episode, this scene always got to me. It was one of the more, it was one of those scenes where I was, as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old guy watching this, whoa, that surprised me. I wasn't pissed off. I know some people call it a contrivance and it was bad writing and, yada, yada, yada. I never saw that. It was just more of it was a reality that was going to happen at some point. We knew Lelouch was going to lose control of his Geass at some point. They what's it called? They foreshadowed in the story. They brought literally 3 episodes of Mao to demonstrate that it can happen. And they discussed it. So it's not like this was complete unexpected. At the same time, though, you can definitely argue that had this gone through, the story would have been over. Or would have been over. What if Lelouch gave up the Black Knights for the Saz, but the Black Knights didn't want to give it up for Saz? Give it up for the Saz. There might have been a rebellion between Zero and the Black Knights, and they could have kept going with new leadership. Between Detard, Ogi, and Valletta, or they would have found someone else to lead them. It is very possible there could have been a rebellion of the Black Knights against Lelouch if they didn't want to do this. There's no guarantee that him giving up the Black Knights would have done anything. I mean, we've seen already the Black Knights betrayed Lelouch, betrayed in turn 19, so there's no reason why they wouldn't have done it here. So if you want to play the what-if game on what if Lelouch actually didn't use the Geass, what would have happened? it is very possible there could have been an insurrection within the organization. I remember in the show in the later on, I think it was turn 18 or 19, they mentioned how like the group is going through infighting. It might have been 18 or 19. Now we'll get to it when we get to it, but there's no guarantee that the fight would have ended if Lelouch had joined Euphiema. There could have been a whole insurrection. That would have been a nice what if scenario. I wouldn't mind making a video going further into what could have happened if he did join Euphiema and there was no Geass accident. Yeah, again, I have so many thoughts about this. I'm just, there's just so many things about this episode that are just, I don't know. Let's see if I miss anything before I go into the comments. Let's see. Yeah, Lelouch was not aware his Geass was active. Now, here's the thing I don't understand. Maybe I'm just not familiar with the Geass lore, or who the heck knows. But when Lelouch uses his Geass powers on anyone, he knows it's active, right? Because he can turn off and on. Like when he was going to give the command to that noble early on in this episode, his eye was open and then he closed it. He's very aware of when it's on and off. It's a light switch, I guess. So was he not aware that it was on when he was talking to Euphiema? Like it's, how do I put this? If you were to, I don't know, pick any movement in your body, whatever the movement is, and you have to, like, you actually have to act, like, it's not the heartbeat, right? Where it's happening passively and you're not doing anything. Thank God. If you were manually in control of your heartbeat, you would have dead a long time ago. But like, finger movements or head twitching, whatever the case may be, how could you do a thing like that and not realize you're doing it? The only example I can think of is maybe you did it already and you forgot about it after a while. But the initial act of doing it, you should be at least aware of. Unless Lelouch was half asleep or something, it's really odd because the Geass power is not an impulse. He has control over it. And he should be at least aware, even if he didn't turn it on, shouldn't he be aware that it was on? It's that kind of bothered about the scene. Not the whole command or it losing its ability, but like, how was he not aware it was even happening? That's kind of odd to me. Again, maybe I don't understand how the Geass works, which wouldn't be surprising because I've definitely gotten things wrong in the past. Okay, let's see. Charles and Chanel had a weird moment. Who was Charles referring to? Oh, yeah, and I don't have it here. I guess I didn't get, but there's a part we were talking about earlier where Schneisel is saying, where is it? It's right before Charles. He goes like, like, you're worthy of being called my child. Right, Charles, of course. Because massacring millions of people is definitely what you stand for, I guess. Yeah, Schneisel's like, what madness is this? I'm like, Schneisel, what are you talking about? You're going to kill billions of people later on in the story. What madness is this? You subjugate people with no problem. You have no issues with leading the oppressive nation of Brittania to take out the EU and the Chinese Federation. Now, granted, he was making a treaty with the Chinese Federation prior to this, but still, very strange reaction from Schneisel. Okay, let's see what else I got here. I think another. Wait, what did I say? Another. Okay, so that one. Oh, the Rosenberg organization. You remember how in this is a very random foreshadowing, I guess, but in turn 24, when they were, I think it was 24, when they were evacuating the Damocles, maybe it was 25. I think it was 25 actually. No, hold on. No, it was 24. It was 24. So when they were evacuating Damocles, Schneider was saying the Rosenbergs would like build another device. Apparently, the same organization, the Rosenbergs, they were actually working on Jeremiah's project too. Little fun fact there. Okay, anything else? I think that's all I had when I was looking at the notes. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. We'll read some comments and I'll go to the picture drama first stage 22. We haven't done a picture drama in like a while because there hasn't been any since, what was it, 9, I think. So, okay, comments and then picture drama. Scrolling up. Okay, maybe that was before he became a sociopath. We're referring to Schneissel's reaction, probably, or maybe he. It's a weird scene. I don't know. I think Schneisel was completely caught off guard, especially because this was ordered by Euphy, one of the most pure heart characters in the story. That could be too. Need to get off my screen, please. You're worse than CBR. Wow. Damn. Okay. I don't blame you, though. I think the reason some people dislike Suzaku is because he was a denial when he was in the wrong. He often tries to come across as a nice guy when in reality he's flawed and an anti-hero like Lelouch. Yeah, I can see that. In this scene, though, why does Suzaku only care about Euphiema? I mean, his people were getting massacred. He didn't seem to care about them. That kind of bothered me a little bit. But that's also a fair point. I recently watched a video by YouTuber Zera. He actually provides some reasonable evidence as to why Special Mission of Japan wouldn't have worked very well. You should go watch it. I'll check it out. I mean, I don't know specifically. Like I said, the reason why I don't think it would have worked is because if the Brittanians were willing to kill the Japanese people on a simple command, then obviously there were still racial tensions, so it wouldn't have been a success. And even if Lelouch had agreed to work with Euphiema, the Black Knights would have still had an insurrection. It took me 3 times to get that out. So it also doesn't even solve the initial problem because even if they were in this zone, they're still under Britannia. They still are not really a free nation. All this is it's a concession, and some people are like, yeah, but it's better than nothing. Even titles like, we fought for this, so we shouldn't be ashamed. But the Americans were like, yeah, because you're in a high position. The rest of us are going to be, we're not getting anything out of this. So it definitely wouldn't have worked. The more I think about it. But again, even Lelouch said it wouldn't either. So it wasn't like this is a completely new concept or a foreign concept. I got the sense that Cornelia cared about Euphiema as much as Lelouch cared about Nunnally, but Cornelia was too serious and professional to express her soft side. She did it that one time when they were on the not Ares Villa, the top of the bureau, which looked like the Ares Villa. That was the only time she ever showed any kind of sister stuff to her. But yeah, she was too serious, and again, didn't take her as seriously. Lelouch takes Nunnally seriously for the story. I don't think Cornelia did. Okay. Since he didn't really pay attention to or care what she does, since people don't pay attention to her, but sing her to massacre. Yeah, again, it's a fair point. I'm surprised Euphy didn't tell Suzaku or of Lelouch is Zero, since Lelouch and Suzaku are friends. At least Euphy didn't know about Lelouch and Suzaku's friendship. She did know, actually. She mentioned it in 21. She goes, "Oh, you're friends with Suzaku. That's great." She didn't tell anyone because that would have ruined everything. I mean, Euphy might be ignorant and naive, but she's not stupid. She knows that Lelouch and Suzaku don't like each other. Well, they're fighting each other as the Lancelot Putt and Zero, so she's definitely not. I think she definitely she shouldn't have done that. I'm glad she didn't. Another reason to like Dalton takes out corrupt officials. Yeah, Dalton is the man. Does Euphy actually know Lelouch and Suzaku are close friends? Yeah, she does. She knows. She mentioned it in 21, in stage 20. She goes, "Oh, you're friends with Suzaku." No, she definitely knows. It's really annoying. Cornelia opposed this ass since this was the only way to end the terrorism. Plus, if the Geass didn't go out of control, Cornelia would still be mad at the end of the war. But also, to go further with your point, if this actually worked out, then they would have elevated the status to a satellite nation. Cornelia could have moved on to another country to take over or help, I guess, take over the EU, and Euphiema could become viceroy. In theory, if Lelouch wasn't an idiot, and I'm going to say kind of foolish here, and not so much stupid, but foolish, if he had just let things play out, Euphiema would have become the viceroy, and she would have been nice to all the Japanese people. And Lelouch knew that because he said that she she puts the commoners first. So Lelouch, to be fair, really screwed this up because if he had just let things go on, assuming again if things had quieted down and the Japanese people and the Britannians were working side by side, which again probably wouldn't have happened given how quickly they turned on them. But assuming they had, it is possible that Cornelia would have left Euphy in charge, and as viceroy, she would be nice to the 11s, unlike Clovis, who was a complete dick. This is all like what if scenarios and headcanons, obviously. None of this is accurate, but it'll be interesting to know for sure. According to Cornelia, discrimination is our natural policy. That's true, but remember what she told Euphiema. When you're empress, you can change it. So obviously, as viceroy, which is not an empress, but it's a pretty high position, she can make the change that she wants to. Do you think that the story could continue if the Black Knights join the specially administrative zone of Japan? Is there a way for the Black Knights to continue down the rebellion route still? No. There would be no way. According to Chiba, they'd have to disarm. If the Black Knights disarm, they can't fight Britannia. This was basically an organized surrender. That's what this would have been. That's why they were. That's why they were debating. Why do you think the Black Knights and the Holy Swords and Detail, why they're going back and forth, and Mark shot at too? Like, why is this the right thing to do? Because if we agree to this, yeah, there'll be peace and no more conflict. Whatever the hell that means. I mean, we're putting our mercy against a racist empire. But sure, if we do this, we'll get what we want, sort of, and we'll have to disarm. We won't be an army anymore, and that would not have been good. Now, maybe they could have policed themselves, but I don't think that would have worked out, and it wasn't going to work. It was basically a surrender if they chose this, a nicer surrender, I guess. Yeah, there would be no Black Rebellion. There might be Black Knights still helping out with Britannia and Japan, but there wouldn't be a fighting force anymore. At least if what Chiba said was correct. Which again, I love that part where she says that because she's actually pretty smart. I mentioned before, but welcome to the stream, Phoenix. I do streams every Sunday at 7. I'm doing mostly Code Geass. If you're actually watching this, I mostly do Code Geass episode reviews. But I did the math actually on yesterday. And I was like, So next week we'll be done with Code Geass R1, and assuming we go the same rate, it might take another couple months to do R2. Then we have Akito, the films, and that's it. So I don't know. I mean, Z Recapture announcements, I don't want to rant or dunk on anyone specifically, but everyone keeps posting stuff on social media like Z Recapture release date coming out soon, Z Recapture coming out 2022, Z Recapture coming out sometime next whatever. And I'm like, there is no sources for any of this. These people keep posting this crap and they're like, when's going to come out then? Where are your sources, people? Just put the source in the link in your post and say where you got this from. If you type in Z Recapture release date, there is no announcements about it whatsoever. You find articles from 2020, okay? There is nothing about this anime coming out. And I even reading it might be a film. Like, it's just so much speculation. So the point of the rant I'm trying to make here is that by the time I finish all the shows in the Code Geass universe, at least the OVA, the anime stuff, manga reviews are kind of weird. I don't think I want to do that. But when I finish all that stuff, there's probably going to still be a lot of time between that and Z Recapture. So we'll have to figure out another show to go over. One show I thought about was Mobile Suit Gundam 00, since it's very similar to Code Geass, and I think it translates well if you've seen Code Geass 200. And plus, if you guys haven't watched it, we could I've already seen it, but for the new people, you could watch it, and for the first time, and give your honest responses while I'm going over the episodes. And then we'll see if we can, burn more time to get to Z Recapture. But there's no announcements about it, so at this point, we'll see where we are when we're at Lelouch of the Resurrection, which is the last of the things I'll be going over, at least until, again, Z Recapture comes out. That was kind of a long rant, but whatever. Didn't Rivel prevent Lelouch from potentially using his Geass on the Nomans? Rivel's more useful than Tamaki. Stop the Rivel hate. Why I feel bad for this guy. Oh, well, only you, I'm afraid. Rivel did help out that guy, but it was situational. He had no idea Lelouch had even Geass powers. In fact, Rivel never knows about it, so that's a fair point, but it was more like dumb luck. Now Rivel is made a smile expression at seeing a Nolan being down an innocent Japanese guy, which shows how Rivel's twisted and idiot. Hey, that's not far off. Remember during Charles' speech, he was smiling. He loved the whole concept of the strong destroying the weak, how inequality is good, equality is bad. So you're absolutely right there. Rivel is a piece of crap. I mean, he was smiling during that speech. Charles' speech was not funny. Even if you agreed with him, it was not a funny speech. He was, I don't know. Rivel's a strange guy. Very strange guy. At this point, Lelouch lost all sanity. Yeah, it's very possible. Put down? Oh, pat down. Yes, they didn't pat down Lelouch when he was being checked in. They just simply used our metal detector. That's so stupid. That's like the president of the United States, from our point of view. Not president. I'd say a governor. If you're going to be with the governor of like Illinois or something, or whatever state you're from, you would. It wouldn't be a simple metal detector. It'd be like a pat down. They would check you evasively. So the fact that they didn't do that when he went to go to talk to Euphiema was just ridiculous to me. There are so many you can break this whole story down from beginning to end, and there's so many parts that so many people messed this up. It wasn't just Lucius Geass going haywire. It was the security not doing their job. It was Lucius ignoring the signs, putting us in a situation to fail. C2 didn't come the hell out either when she could have. So much went wrong. Suzaku should have been there with her, even though they would have revealed Lucius' identity. But you know what? This is maybe a bad take here. But if Suzaku had jumped in there with Euphiema and he learned Lucius' identity was at that time, it might have been okay because if all three learn to work together, it doesn't matter who Lucius is at this point. Yes, he did kill some people, and especially Naita and Shirley's father, which Suzaku would have been really pissed off about. But if the Zero Requiem has proven anything, Suzaku will put certain grudges aside if it's for the greater good. So I can see him working with Lelouch to fix things, despite all the crap he did. But once he killed Euphy, it was never going to happen. The only reason why Zero Requiem occurred is because Lelouch agreed to do even more and basically save the world. Other than that, I mean, Suzaku had no interest working with him. But it could have happened theoretically if Suzaku had come to the SAS with them. That would have been a fun what-if scenario. Okay, next one. The most brutal scene in the Euphiema killing Japanese. Yeah, this is still, I think even in R2, besides the Flea Warhead being fired several times in the story, there is no massacre worse than the Special Administrative Zone of Japan. And even the Flea isn't as bad. I know this sounds awful because it killed millions of people, but at least the people were vaporized. You know, this was gunned down in brutal ways, so it's more brutal. But the Flea was more efficient, which is freaking messed up. Todu was totally done with murder. Doesn't sound like very honorable to me. When Todu joined up with Lelouch, he already was going against his principles. Remember, he said he wanted to die because what is his name? His leader. Darn it! I wish the guy's name always like goes in and out of my head. The general Katase. When Katase died, he wanted to die with him. So when he joined Lelouch, he was actually going against his own principles. So he already went down this road joining on with Lelouch. So yeah, he's not honorable. He admits it, he's not honorable. Todu's down with murder. I think you said that one already. Lelouch's most dangerous opponent is a nice person. I think his most dangerous opponent is someone who knows Nunnally's existence. Because think about Mao. Mao knew of Nunnally, that's why he almost defeated him. Anyone who knows Lelouch's weakness is a dangerous person. Think about V2. He knew about Nunnally and he took her away from him. That's the most dangerous opponent to Lelouch. Anyone who knows Nunnally's existence. I think you posted one already. I'll check it out. Lelouch is really bad at jokes. He's not the only one. This guy's pretty bad too. It's his own fault, and not because he didn't know that he made the dumb joke to kill Japanese people. I was freaking out during the scene. I said when that Doom music kicks in. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He made the dumb joke to kill the Japanese. I was freaking out during that scene. I was like, yeah, it was ugh. Orange. Yes, we have to reference Orange. The worst example ever, yet it gave him the best opportunity to achieve the goals. Makes me wonder what was his option Lelouch considered to do. I have no idea at this point. I know the CBR article mentioned that she shouldn't take advantage of Euphemia's death or not death for the command, or he was too ruthless about it. Man, what's wrong with me today? But I didn't see anything wrong with what he did. I thought it made sense. The only thing I would have changed is maybe instead of killing Euphiema, take her prisoner, and maybe there's a way to reverse it. Maybe C2 knows something. He was kind of quick to dispose of her. I think they could have captured her and figure out a way to stop the Geass power. I mean, we know from the that girl who was writing crosses on the wall that eventually it goes away. But then again, Lelouch didn't know that at the time. But I think he gave it too early with Euphiema. That was, I understand why he killed her because the Geass power would have never stopped. At the same time, though, they could have maybe tried some other approaches with it. At the very least, other things. But then again, if he captured Euphiema, then Suzaku would have chased him down. He had to fight him over and over again. Eventually, it would come out like, why is Euphy kind of crazy? And he had to say, well, I use a supernatural ability to turn her evil. So if you play that scenario out, it doesn't really end well either. So I guess unless they had an immediate way to stop the Geass ability, which they didn't because the counselor wasn't a thing, their only option was to kill her, unfortunately. They could have maybe try some other things as well, but I would have at least tried other ideas before resulting in killing Euphy, but I guess Lelouch had to act quickly. The nobles did look shocked. Everyone was shocked. It was no one expected this. Actually, I remind you, I want to show you. I think is it here or hold on? I might be jumping the gun. Um, 1 second. Okay, I'm not. I'm jumping the gun. Okay, there was a scene that I wanted to mention. I don't want to forget about it. The weird thing is that no one questions the princess killing a high-ranking Brittanian officer. You know what? No one did question that. That's a good point. Um, you mean Dalton, right? Shooting Dalton? I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, think about this, right? Again, another question about this: how far was this going to go on for, right? Or how long was it go on for? Because the command to kill the Japanese people wasn't. There was no limits or any end game behind it. It was just kill the Japanese, I guess, and don't stop. So even if Lelouch didn't kill Euphiema, at some point Cornelia or Schneider would have stepped in and said, "You know what? All Britannian forces cease fire and stop killing everyone." In fact, I'm surprised that neither one did that. Like Cornelia or Schneider didn't take control of the situation and say, "Listen, guys, stop shooting Japanese people. I don't care what Euphiema said. Don't do that." Which does, it does raise some eyebrows. But in the long term, the thing to understand is that I assume that they would have stepped in and stopped the massacre because again, there was no end in sight. She said kill the Japanese people. She didn't say kill them in the SAS. She just said anywhere you see Japanese people, you got to kill them. So I assume the leaders were going to stop it at some point and arrest Euphiema and probably execute her or God knows what else happened to her and put her in mental asylum. You know what? Euphiema would probably be in a mental asylum if Lelouch didn't kill her because I predict that maybe the Japanese would have, the Britannians might have gone to her first or who knows? It could have been really bad. That would be kind of interesting, though. I'm kind of a sick man here, but how interesting would it have been if the Britannians beat Lelouch to Euphiema, captured her, stopped the massacre, and she's in a mental asylum for like a whole year, and eventually, what's it called? What's his name? Jeremiah frees her with the Geass Chancellor. That would be kind of interesting what if scenario where Suzaku visits Euphiema every day, but she always says she wants to kill Japanese people, and she lost her mind, and she doesn't understand what's happening, or he doesn't understand what's happening. That would have been a cool what if scenario. Anyways, but again, I'm not the author of the story, but that I might have done it in my story. Shout not kill. Yes, right. Yeah, exactly. Because he shot, didn't kill her. Well, Princess High Ring shot the general for trying to stop her. It's generally viewed as treason to disobey a royal command in these kinds of society. But you're right, poor Dalton. She still shouldn't have shot him. I'm surprised no one called him out of the war crimes. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, is the rest of the world sleeping? They're like, Britannia literally committed. You could argue that conquering Japan, at least it was military against military forces. This was just massacre on a massive scale. It wasn't even. They didn't even try to disguise it like poison gas like they did in I keep saying it wrong. The Shikina Ghetto, Shinjuku Ghetto. I keep doing that. Shinjuku Ghetto. At least, like here, it was just blamed murder on a massive scale, and yet the Chinese Federation and the EU didn't even seem to care about it. You would think that would have come up with some kind of discussion, but Britannia is the superpower of the world, or one of the superpowers of the world, and I guess nobody cares. Or if they do, they can't stop them. He was referring to Lelouch because in the sub, he said he really did it. Correct. Charles was talking about Lelouch. In the sub, he says he really did it. Oh, interesting. Why did the dub in Code Geass is really stupid. Like I don't mean to go on a rant here, but there's like 3 or 4 times which I've noticed where the dub completely got it wrong, and when I watched the subtitles, it made sense. Like for example, Cecile said, "How come we did? You mean we never installed a what was it called? A escape pod? I forgot the word. Escape pod, I guess, for the nightmare frame." Ejection seat. There we go. Ejection seat. But in the sub, she said, we haven't installed it yet. When C2 uses Geass, or she uses her powers on Suzaku, in the dub, Lelouch says, are using Geass on him. And that's not, and he knows she can't use Geass from a previous episode. But in the sub, he says, are you trying to give him a Geass power? Which is more likely what was going on, at least from his understanding of C2's ability. So the dub is kind of a little shaky at times. Suzaku keeps losing people he cares about. I feel bad when Lelouch starts crying when he gave. Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with this. He was. He didn't want to do it, and that's the important part. Charles wants to create a better world. Also, Charles laughs like a maniac when his children commit genocide. Man, Lelouch is really Charles' son, given all the times we've seen him laugh maniacally. Oh, yeah. If you took like Charles and Lelouch and side by side, yeah, that's his son. For better or for worse, they are definitely family. Lots of people give Lelouch a pass because it was an accident, but there are 3 points why I don't give him a pass. I assume you're going to list them later on. Yes, you will. Okay, awesome. Or Lelouch could have negotiated for the Black Knights to protect the SAS and avoid demilitarizing. Yeah, that's true. They could have negotiated something. I had this feeling it was all or nothing, but that's very true. Especially when you remember, Taizo was going to give his ties to the Black Knights for the mining rights. If they had lost that, they would not have had the same. They wouldn't get the Borais or any other resource they would need to continue the war effort. So they would have no leg to stand on. If Taizo left the Black Knights, they would have been screwed. So even if they want to negotiate, let's say what you mentioned, not to demilitarize, God dang it, it wouldn't have worked anyway because they have no. Usually, when you come to a table to negotiate, right, you have something like what's the term? You got something to bargain with. But if you don't have anything to bargain with, you're at the mercy of the person who is stronger. So if they lose ties of support, they had no leg to stand on. That's very important in terms of what you're in context of what you're saying. Which is why I believe what would have happened was if Lelouch had given up the SAS or the rebellion for the SAS, there might have been insurrection. There probably would have been. They all might have been died too in it, but they would prefer to die than live that way. Okay, reason number 1 why I don't give him the pass. His original plan was always to Geass Euphy and frame her for a crime she had no control over. He always planned to ruin her reputation in the world of sea. Yep, that's very true. He went in there with a bad purpose. Very true. When I watched the scene, I wasn't sad. I really didn't care so much because I wasn't very surprised about it. I didn't care about most of the deaths in this either. So I just sat there. Wow. Damn. I don't know if I really cared about the people being killed. I mean, it was a lot of shock. I can't exactly say what I was feeling when I first watched it, but I feel bad now watching it, given everything I know. But that's a very reasonable response, especially if you didn't like the whole thing to begin with. And on some level, I think rage is probably a stronger emotion anyways than sadness in this situation. Yeah, it wouldn't have. I think you mentioned this like 3 times, which is it's important. I'll definitely check it out. It wouldn't have because I mentioned, even while watching the video, I assume because the SAS wasn't going to give Japan complete freedom, it was only temporary. Not temporary. It was in a small location. They were still being oppressed everywhere else, and ultimately, the Brittanian wanted to kill them. They'd still be at their mercy. They weren't really free as a nation, so that's why I definitely agree that it wasn't true freedom, and it probably wouldn't have worked. Well, you can manually movements subconsciously like smiling or clenching your fist or other movements. Yeah, but the Geass is one of those things where you have to be aware you're using it. Otherwise, you're using the Geass power, especially when like Lucius where he has to activate it. He's consciously aware of it. If he wasn't consciously aware of it, he couldn't use it. If that makes any sense, because on some level, the Geass is like a gun in a retrospect because you have to point at someone, load it up, and fire it. You're very aware of what you're doing when you're using it. You can't just subconsciously turn your Geass on, use it on people. It's not like Spider-Man's web shooter where he has to double tap it for it to work because he does this motion to begin with. So that might have been a bad example, but the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not sure how the Geass could be active and you not know about it. I gotta do some more research into how Geass works, but that's kind of weird to me. I know this is too far ahead, but I'm surprised the Black Knights didn't have a civil war or infighting among themselves after Stage 25, especially when Zero Loyalists and the non-Zero Loyalists. Well, the reason why they didn't is because in Turn 5, Ogi and Todu both supported Zero. Now, if Ogi and Todu did not both support Zero, there would have been infighting. That's why they had to both do it. So you're right. If Ogi, let's say, was not interested, then some people would have supported Ogi and left the Black Knights or Todu or vice versa. But since both of them supported Zero, there was not going to be insurrection. Since those are two people everyone looks up to in the Black Knights. Can you mention that one? Wait, what was number 2? Did I miss number 2? His original plan was to do something. Oh, did you miss number 2? Oh, okay. Well, we'll read number 3. He would have never done this to Nunnally if she was in Euphy's place. I believe Euphy was expendable to an extent. Nunnally and R1 could not be sacrificed in Lucius' eye. Well, that's because everything was for Nunnally. So that, I mean, I understand that, but Nunnally was his entire purpose of being. So if he kills Nunnally, it doesn't make any sense. It's like that's the goal, right? Why would you take out like if I don't know how to rationalize this in the most simplest way possible, but if if the goal is to protect someone and all you care about is protect an individual, killing them would go against that. So obviously, you wouldn't have to, like, it doesn't make any sense. There's definitely favoritism there, but I mean, I don't know. That doesn't. I guess that's a okay point. My only contradiction or my only counterpoint is that I don't think you can bring Euphy into this because I'm not Euphy, not only because his whole point is to save her. But yes, I will agree to the first point though. Euphy was definitely expendable, and he was angry with her to begin with. Again, he went in there with a he went in there with the intent to kill her. So I do agree though. This would be a good story. The Black Knight Rebellion within the rebellion. If Suzaku had a Geass power, what do you think it would be? He did have one, and Suzaku with a counterattack. I don't remember what it did though. If you want to see Suzaku with a Geass ability, read the following manga. Here, I'll show you an image of it. Here, let's research it. Let's see what he did or what power he had. Neil, get back here. Okay. 1 second. Suzaku of the counterattack. Look at that. I was already looking it up a couple days ago. Why did snippets come up? I don't know. He had a Geass power. Let me just go to it. Why don't they say what it was? I thought he had a Geass power. 1 second. Suzaku was the main protagonist, wearing a bionic combat suit. He killed Laner. Was Zaku Mage Nizel? I thought he got a Geass ability. Am I crazy? Let's see. No? Alright, I guess I'm crazy. I thought he had a Geass power in Zaku the counterattack. I'm going to look that up later because I thought he had a Geass ability, but I guess I was wrong. I'm like, what? I thought he had a... 1 second. One more Google search and we'll go back to comments. I'm just really curious. Suzaku Geass ability. I thought he had an ability. I guess not. Okay. Whatever. I guess I'm misremembering things. Won't be the first time. I thought he had a power in that manga. I wish the show explained better why the Saz would not work, potentially. Instead, Lelouch just comes across a bitter, hateful person. He doesn't even try to talk to you if he just time to Geass you. Yeah, you're right. Well, here's why, okay? Lelouch is one of his greatest weaknesses that he's very headstrong. He's very stubborn. He believes that his way or the highway. Remember, in turn 21, he's talking to Nunnally. Well, not talking to her, but he's with her in that booth. And he said, Euphy, I already thought about this. It would never work. He already contemplated this idea and said it would not happen. So, in his mind, which is again a weakness of Lelouch, he believes his idea, his plan is the only one that's going to work. That's why Euphiema was a shock to him because he couldn't believe someone else had a better idea than him. Someone could make something happen that he thought couldn't. So, Lelouch is a super intellectual genius, which is one of the weaknesses of a super intellectual genius is that you think you're so smart, you don't even consider the opinions of others. Because why would you? You're a genius. That's kind of why. That's how I rationalize that point of view. But yes, that's a very good point. I would at least had Lelouch talk to Euphiema and say why this wouldn't work in full detail, and then have Euphiema rebuttal and say yes, but have you considered, opinion A or whatever. That would have been kind of cool because the only debate they have is not about if the Saz would work or not, but rather on how Lelouch wants it himself and Euphiema is taken away from him. So the whole debate had nothing to even do with the Saz being effective or not. It was more lines it would work, and it's not fair because I wanted to do it and you took it from me. So, which is kind of, I would have preferred maybe a discussion on the SAS if it worked or not, as opposed to who gets credit for it, essentially, which is kind of odd. But that's what it seemed like the discussion was about. Hisaku's gas would be, I don't know, maybe a Saw with his, AU Hisaku having gas. He could potentially possess dead people in some way. Lelouch gets shot in the scene where Hisaku saves him in the original, and C2 gives him one. Like alternative universe. What was Hisaku's gas be? I assume, honestly, it probably went Bismarck's because that kind of makes sense to who Suzaku is. Maybe he relates to something like the command to live. Like he can enhance his abilities as a human like 3 times fold, which is impressive. He already run faster than bullets. So imagine him like a hiding ability. The Geass probably enhance his physical attributes in combat. Yeah, I'm not sure how it would be. Never mind. I had some really stupid thoughts. This Euphemia's death has a William Shakespeare feeling to it, a whole tragedy. Yes, in fact, in the video I'm going to make about Suzaku and Lucia's relationship, Jesus Christ, Suzaku and Euphemia's relationship, I'm hearing a lot of comments about Lucia and Suzaku. I'm not even going to go there, but I'm saying when it comes to Euphemia and Suzaku, it's a very Shakespearean tragedy. But that's what I think about when I discuss this whole that's what I think about when I think about this. Use the same word twice because Euphemia and Suzaku was 2 people from 2 different families, basically forbidden families, right, or lineage even. Brittanian high class versus a son of a prime minister, which I guess is a big deal. But according to Suzaku, and we'll get this later on, he was not going to even with his own people, he was not in line of succession to take over, which we'll get to later. So you got a Japanese person and a Brittanian. They shouldn't be together, and they were going to anyways. Which is why Ogies and Velez was nice because it was the same situation, but it ended up in no tragedy in that situation. Got him. All right. What I'm saying is, do you think the character would do something to evoke the BLC Unites and Lelouch into rebellion again? A situation which makes Brittanian look bad? Maybe. It depends on how good the whole, assuming you're discussing like the whole working together, possibly, but again, given how like the SAS wasn't really going to, how do I put this? It wasn't really going to solve all the problems. I can foresee a potential uprising occurring again, or worse off, if Euphemia for some reason couldn't be in charge, she might get overruled by other people to kill the Japanese people or persecute them again. Even soft racism could be employed because it clearly was obvious that it was not that while they might be treated equals in that zone, they were not equals in reality. There's a fan of Suzaku and Geass ability. Interesting. All we know is that's in production. Yeah, that's all I've seen about Zero Capture. It's in production. What does that mean? I feel like Ribbles isn't a bad guy, but noisy and immature. Okay, maybe. I don't like him. If Lelouch joined the SAS, he probably would try to sabotage and restart his rebellion. Lelouch is that kind of prick. Wow. I think the only person who hates Lelouch or criticizes him is Gladiator King. I don't think anyone else ever says things about him. I'm on that Reddit every day, and it's only compliments. But you know what? He might have done that. But then again, though, he's getting what he wants, so it's hard to, for sure say that. Character analysis of Rivals. Yes, it'll be 10 minutes, but I will do it. Wasn't Rival Spawn try to de-escalate the argument between Lelouch and Nolman? Yeah, probably. It didn't work, but, it kind of did. The most noble thing about Rival is that he is the one member of the Student Council that had never had an important role in the story. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Does this show he's a third sociopath besides Llyod and Detard? Possibly. But Lelouch wouldn't actually do that because it's a horrible idea. Yeah, using the Geass part for sure. Then again, the ZEU and Chinese Federation are no saints higher. No, they're not. They're not good people. We learned that from Akito Exile. Akito, we learned how the EU is no good. And from, what was it? The R2, we learned the Chinese Federation is bad too. The High Eunuchs are awful individuals. So yeah, no, all these powers are god awful. Probably killing Euphiema could be made her not suffer anymore, even though she was saved. Would the world forgive her? People forgive her? No, definitely not. And I think you can go further with it. If she, let's say, they had a Geass canceller and they used it on Euphemia, she would have been jailed uh, for shooting an officer, for ordering a massacre that made Britannia look bad, probably violating several laws, even within Britannia's corrupt system. She would have been screwed. And we know that's kind of true because Cornelia gave up everything, including her right to the throne, to clear Euphy's name, which means that whatever happened to Euphy was that serious. We learned that in art too. I believe it's whenever Jeremiah and the Geass Order becomes relevant or appear in the story. So we know that if the Geass was removed on her, she definitely would have still been in a lot of trouble. Which is why if the Lelouch had rescued her and maybe they could have done something with her. If Britannia got her, she'd probably been locked in an asylum, assuming they didn't reverse the Geass. If they did remove the Geass, she would probably be jailed, probably for life, maybe executed. I'm being too far. They would have executed her. And that would have resulted in Cornelia coming in there with the Nightmare Frames to stop her, and there'd be like a whole insurrection between the royal family. And that would have been kind of a cool story, but it's not what we got. You said Lelouch doesn't know the limit of the order, the time limit of the order. Yeah, because what I mean is when he gave Lelouch, Lelouch couldn't Geass himself. He only did it once. He only could do it once. When he told him to kill the Japanese people, he never said how many, how long to do it for. He just said kill them. There's no end to that command. So she'll go on forever killing Japanese people. Usually when he tells people to do stuff, it's like there's some kind of time limit or some kind of end game with it. How you know you're done. Like, answer my questions. Okay, my questions are finished. Now the command is over. Or give me that item. You gave me the item. Now the command is over. Or I don't know. What's another example? Do this random thing. You know, when the random thing is completed, the task is over. The problem when you say kill all Japanese people, the word "all" pretty much implies there's no end to it. That's what I meant. Okay, which of the three superpowers was actually the worst? I don't know. Yeah, EU was pretty bad. I mean, General Smiles was not good. Sorry for posting 3 times. No, it's fine. I get it. Well, here's the thing. I actually read my comments, at least for now. Now, if there was like, and this would probably never happen, but there was like 2,000 people in this chat, then yeah, it would get lost. But right now, I can keep track of everyone's comments, so it's totally fine. It's not spam in my book. There are cases of people firing a gun unconsciously. Are we talking about Euphemia? I guess so. Oh, you're talking about how like. Oh, you're talking about like Lelouch accidentally not being where he had the Geass ability. Okay, but the person still had the gun in their hand, right? So it's not a complete shock. I think Lelouch was shocked his Geass was even active the whole time. That's the part that kind of confuses me. With the gun scenario, yes, you might accidentally shoot it off, but you can't deny you were holding it. Now, unless, of course, it was in your pocket. But even then, you're aware the gun's in your pocket and it's loaded. So while you might be able to say you accidentally triggered it, you're at least aware that it was in your pocket or in your, not pocket, your maybe your pocket, but one of those things. I know what you're talking about. But with Lelouch, I think he was shocked it was even on. You know, if his Geass was on or something, and he chose not to give Euphiema a command, but then accidentally did. Okay, that's one thing. But I got the impression he wasn't even aware he was using his Geass ability. That's why I was confused by the scene. But that's a fair point. Okay, I have a thing I made about Code Geass Resurrection is canon, but surely he's dead. That's actually the Code Geass manga follows that timeline. I see number 2, but I'll type it again. You see number 2? Am I blind? I was looking through this. Huh? Yes, please type it again. I'm an idiot. It's the ability to sense the power of other people's Geass. I guess we're talking about C2. I found it really stupid that Ray from Lost Code basically had Lucius Geass to control people, but relied on the sound as is more athletic than Lelouch, but is not as smart as Lelouch. But both get along. I heard some bad things about Lost Colors. I don't want to go into that topic, but I heard some things about that game. It wasn't that great. Suzaku and Euphy is one of the best ships in anime. Sad and the way it did, like, yeah, it was. So it's sad and like that. Does anyone here have an AU for the Code Geass? I'd like to know. I have no idea. No, I love Lelouch. I just don't like how the fan glorifies him. Someone's always right and can never make a mistake. I like him because he's a hero and a villain and a hero. Okay, fair point. I should not have categorized. I should not have labeled you one or the other. Oh, look who it is. It's Toby. Welcome, buddy. I'm surprised you're here instead of fighting in the Ninja War, but thanks for showing up. Although, if you're Toby, then you haven't revealed yourself yet. Mm-hmm. Rivel did not end up with the president of the student council. No, he did not. It's a shame too because I think him and Millie would have been a decent couple. Although I think in Resurrection they might be dating because they were traveling in Zilkstan. But who the heck knows? Personally, I don't even mind Millie. I don't mind Millie even being with Llyod later on once they're she's a little older. I actually don't mind that couple. It kind of makes sense from a royalty perspective, and also I think Llyod generally liked her. But again, that's a whole another discussion. Would Euphiema and not Euphiema, would Llyod and Millie actually have worked out? Okay, I like being the devil's advocate though. I like Thanos. Everything he said is perfectly balanced. That's funny. I like the picture drama that should have a different name, like the picture comedy or something nice, since most of them are fluffy fun. This one isn't though. Make it YouTube number 2 as a spam. So here below is number 2. What is it? Have you posted it? No sense power, Code Geass power of the manga. I thought he had something, but I guess not. He wakes up after death and is loose in the beginning of the resurrection and gets revived. Everything happens in the movies just later on. I just forgot. Okay. Okay. Let me go to the picture drama, and while Gladiator King gets that one post, I wanted to read what he said because I was actually legitimately curious. But in the meantime, let me post the. Okay, so this picture drama is. You really can't see it. Did you just post it again? It's not in there. Look, I'll look. Here's the comment you posted. I'm not making this up. Okay, I can't see it. What do you mean you can't see it? I can't see it. What do you mean I can't see it? Okay. Hold on a second. Let me get this out here because I'm like doing like 3 things at once right now. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. I wish I could search my comments. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't know. Yeah, no one sees it either. I don't know, man. Anywho, so in this picture drama, they're listening to the announcement of the whole SAS, and it's a good callback because in the episode where what was it? The episode where Suzaku was kind of the knight of Euphiema, and also when he was executed, she was listening on the radio as well because again she can't watch television. So I like the little callback there. And she thinks about when they were kids, and I will definitely admit, after watching this picture drama several times, and also the reading the manga of RE when it shows Lelouch playing chess with Schneisel, I want to see a OVA that goes through them as children, even like from beginning to end, like when Lelouch is growing up. Maybe he meets C2. Maybe C2 knew him before, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Something like that. And also him playing chess against Schneisel, against Clovis, him fighting with Clovis, him with Cornelia and Euphy. Like I would have loved to see an OVA that goes to the whole thing because there's so much like adorableness in this, but also just I would have loved to have seen this as a OVA special. Anyhow, what's going on here is that Nelly needs to go to bed, and Lelouch can't get her to because she's full of energy, which is kind of cute. She wants this plate, which apparently, if you get something like this, you can't keep it. It's part of tradition. It's for tradition purposes. You can't actually get the commemorative item. So she holds it, but it's Euphy's because it was given to her by Marianne. And so Lelouch and Nunnally fight over it, and they ultimately shatter it into 2. And Euphy's happy about it because they can both get a half of the plate. and basically Nunnally is kissing Euphy because she's so thankful that she's kind enough to give her half the plate. It's kind of a cute thing, and then we see all three of them sleeping together as children. It's a very adorable part of this. This is a really good picture drama because it gives you a good insight to why they like Euphy so much. It gives you good background on the characters, and honestly makes you want to see more of this because of all the stuff in Code Geass we don't see much of. We don't see much of Lucia's early days, and those have been kind of nice stuff. There's a couple picture dramas and a couple audio dramas, and that's literally about it. And then one flashback. So then you see Nunnally holding the plate, but because she hears the announcement, she drops the plate and it breaks, I believe, because there's something going on in the specially administrative zone in Japan, and she's not sure what it is. So that's the picture drama in a nutshell. Really good stuff. I give it a 10 out of 10. Unlike most of the stuff that comes out with these little shorts, this one actually provided a lot of good information, so I definitely enjoyed it. Oh man, can anyone see the comment above me now? Yeah, I don't think anyone can see. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, it's just so stupid. Hide the current comment. Yeah. We want to see like what he was trying to post. It's so weird. I saw your second and third. Like, if I was at scroll, I'm gonna do one last scrolling, and if I okay, all right, I'm just gonna tell you what I see, and then okay, 3-1 are gonna pass. Number one, his original plan was to whatever that was one. Then if I keep scrolling, then it goes right to number 3. There literally is no number 2. I'm not gonna screenshot and post it, but you gotta take my word on it. It would be cool if they made an Ava series that takes place between R1 and R2, which focuses on the Black Knights, which shows an aftermath of the Black Rebellion. Perhaps. Her death was in vain. The death was because the Black Knights, because Lucia left everyone at the end anyways. Okay. Done. Thank you, sir. Finally. The king has finally spoken. Long live democracy. Lucia had a few months walking around with C2 and Suzaku and Nunnally. Crap, I just lost your point there. Yeah. Are somewhere as well. Lucia sees them and waves. Suzaku doesn't die. The command activates. Can't spell. And then show them try to escape from the Brittanian military, try to find Zero and Lelouch, and explore characters like Kallen or Beck, etc. There's so much like, to me, instead of making a new story in Code Geass like Zero Recapture, which I get it, more is better, sort of. Why not just take the I got to my battery in a couple minutes here, but why not just take the current lore and make a bunch of spin-off stories? That's what I love to see. A couple like 3-episode OVAs that go into the Black Knights, what they were doing between the rebellion, even Lancelot and Goran, you could animate that. Or discussing the royal family, you could go into the background of the different characters. There's so many like filler arcs you could do in Code Geass. And I say filler because it's not really a filler arc because there's no like manga canon in this, so technically it's all canon, but however you look at it, not canon Moldini, by the way, but actual canon. But no matter how you look at this, there's so much potential here. It kind of bothers me they want to go the route of like newer stories when you have plenty to work with in your own universe. There are plenty of questions people have, so why not answer those in a bunch of OVAs, including how Geass works, where Geass came from, how about Kallen's background, right? During the OVA evolution, while he's a child, you could show Kallen as a child. You could show Layla as a child. You could show all these different things, what's happening, at the same time to kind of show you the juxtaposition between how everyone's childhood was what was going on during the early events of this story. You can even go into the history. You can discuss their version of World War II, which they kind of do in Janissary Code, but it's not the greatest. I'm just kind of annoyed that you have all this rich lore, and you're not even tapping into any of it for additional content, and you want to instead branch out into new stories, which nobody even wants, in all honesty. If you read the comments and any Reddit posts, Facebook, whatever social media you're on, no one really wants a brand new story. They would prefer more of the same, which honestly, at this point, I would too, because I feel like the story of Code Geass isn't finished. There are plenty of things that are still open-ended, and I'm not sure if a new OVA or film, whatever's coming out, would answer that. But anyway, I'm like completely ranting like a madman as usual. Not sure guys when you watch this crap. Uh, yeah, Anime Oz and Renya, facts. Just do that. Charles story. There's so many like I can make a list of like top 10 OVA or story that should be done in OVAs or any kind of mostly OVAs. Let's say. I got you a battery. I will be right back. Do not go anywhere. Let me get it out. Where is my brands? My reason. Okay, there we go. My camera's out. See, it's dead. Okay. Let me deactivate everything. How does that look? I guess that's okay. I'm a little cockeyed, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. All right. Let's see. I'm translating O2. Yes, good luck. If you translate it, I'm really pleased. My only real access to Oz the Reflection translate is going to be when they what's it called? When they release it in Jezari Code. I have a translator for the game, so I could translate at that point. That's my only option if no one ever translates the manga. Why don't they? What the hell? I tried using a screen translate that uses to play VNs. Did that work? Does a screen translate work for Oz the Reflection? Because if that's the case, I'll read the whole manga and use a translator. I don't even care. When I do my analysis, it just won't have English in the words. I don't care. I was actually kind of upset because when I was reading the first couple of chapters of it. Now, granted, I know the major story because of from the wiki and also that one YouTube video series, but the little details I have no idea when it comes to the story. And when I was reading the first couple of chapters, going through those little details, I was actually enjoying the story. Just depressing because they're never going to animate it. Well, we'll see, but probably not. And it kind of works. Okay, I'll try that. Lelouch gets up, heals since he's immortal. Suzaku looks like a Nunnally, and it's scary as Lelouch is okay. I see. Okay. Let's go on to episode 23. Episode 23. This one is, it's a pretty good one. I mean, both of the episodes are fantastic, even if you don't like the actual outcome, just in general. Like they're well told episodes with a lot of drama, and you generally care about what's happening, which is always good. Being invested in stories is usually a sign of a good one. So here we are, episode 23. So let's just get to the beginning. That's not the beginning of it, but whatever. It's just a bunch of dead people. And the Blind Knights are essentially going in to free the Japanese people. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I assume at some point the Brittanian heads would have stopped this massacre and arrested Euphiema, possibly killed her too. Because as we know, what she was doing was how do I put this? It was obviously illegal, and they were not continuing on for too much longer. We get this. I don't know what it is, but the nightmare frames I noticed I was watching, they're all kind of like weirdly tilted. I'm not sure why the animation went this direction, but you notice how like the Guren's kind of like sliding, and so is the the Gekka. And I don't recall this is the only time you see this strange animation style. Even when they're like, I'll show you what I mean. You can't really tell because it's a video, but uh, that faced. So if I go to 23 and I'm just going down here, so where is it? You see how everything is kind of like it's a weird tilt to the nightmare frame. So you see this weird like I don't know, jumpiness, or even this. Hold on. So when they blow it up, look right here. No, yeah, they're doing this weird kind of like tilting back and forth. I don't know. Maybe it's just the decision of the animators there. But anyhow, that's like the first observation I noticed. There's a bunch. Um, yeah, I will say, despite the oddities of it, I love this pose where the Zangetsu, which I guess I'll show it here. Where is it? You see the Zangetsu, he has the sword out. It's really cool. I've never seen Todu do that before. Yeah, it's just like, look at that. Hold on. Oh, yeah, and Lelouch says before, like, we're going to go, we got to stop Euphy. She's the enemy. All of a sudden, she betrayed us. Again, he has to go with the rhetoric because, well, he has to keep the Black Knights together, even though deep down, he doesn't really agree with that. All right, so where is Todu? Yeah, there he is right there. Yeah, so cool. He like does a really cool dance. He just slices the. So cool. Todu's an awesome character. If I haven't said that before, he is. You're not crazy. I forgot to share it. I'm sorry. Let me go back to what I was saying. So you see this here? Yeah, I wasn't sharing my screen. See the way it's tilted? Not that. Hold on. I keep forgetting to share my screen when I go on the what's it called when I take off the camera. So you see how, yeah, the way Kallen's moving, it's very like again back and forth tilty, and the same goes with the Gekka and also the regular Burais. Again, this weird like jiggly thing. I don't know. Okay. Eventually, again, he's fighting off the Black Knights, even though he's not interested. He's trying to find Euphiema. Ogi's like, you betrayed us. Right. Sure did. We get to this weird conflict. I guess it's not weird, but Kallen and brings in Euphiema, who probably can pilot a nightmare frame, which means that she must have been trained to do it because she also, not only can she pilot a nightmare frame, but she also knows how to use a gun. So she must have had some military training on some level because you can't just, even if you were commanded to kill someone, you can't just go from like not knowing to knowing if I told you to do something. You still have to have some kind of training. So I assume that she knew how to pilot a nightmare frame from the past, which makes sense. So there is that. So Kallen says, oh, look at that. Look who it is. It's Euphiema. And, well, we know how that goes. Lelouch essentially prevents Kallen from killing Euphiema. And what's really funny is that, maybe it's just me, but if this was any other Nightmare Frame pilot, obviously we got plot armor, it works here, but Kallen could have accidentally killed Euphiema and not even known it, which would have been a really like messed up end to the character. But theoretically, she could have killed her and not even known. And I was thinking about that. Lelouch uses the finger slash Harkins to destroy the Nightmare Frame. You see Euphiema walking out, and she's trying to shoot with her gun. And it's very, again, kind of messed up. But when she reloads the weapon, she smiles. And I don't know why. It was kind of adorable, even though she's literally murdering people. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm just a messed up person. Eventually, Lelouch goes there and says, we could, no, Euphy says, like, oh, we could have worked together or something like that. But the Japanese people, it was like, yes, I know, I would have liked that. He kills her, and he says, Pharaoh Euphiema, you're the first girl I ever loved. I don't know what he meant by that. It could have been romantic, not romantic. Side note, this is kind of why I'm bringing this up now, but the episode name before Bloodstained Euphy is spelled with an IE on Wikipedia, IMDb, and a couple other sites. On Funimation, they spell it with a Y. So my question is Euphy spelled with IE or with a Y? I always thought it was a Y. These are the things I think about at night when the dogs are barking and I can't sleep. There's people having a fire outside and chopping wood, which did happen last night. It was the funniest thing. There was some guy chopping wood, and he was setting a fire at like 10 o'clock at night in his backyard. I was like, what is going on here? But anyways, is it IE or is it Y? Who the heck knows? Anyway, Suzaku loses Darnmai, which understandable. He lost the love of his life. The love of his life. And Cecile. This is not Cecile. C2 is like, you'll never have him. She fires the Headcanon, which by the way, Suzaku confirms is stronger than his Lancelot, which means that the Gawain was the stronger Nightmare Frame during this period of time. Which means that for most of Code Geass, Suzaku did not have the strongest Nightmare Frame. Eventually, he's able to knock down the Gawain, and I think Letter can point this out. I could be wrong, but in this particular scene, he punches the. I think you can't see it there. I'll show the footage. So when he's fighting Kallen, if you watch very carefully, not there. Yeah, see, he punches her in the gut, the Nightmare Frame, not hers. And if I'm not mistaken, that's how Kallen defeats him in turn 25. Or final turn RE. She punches him in the gut. So I like how there was a what's the term? They both trade like the same blow to finish each other off. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I definitely like that. So so Suzaku retreats with Euphiema into the Avalon, and of course we see her. She's in bad shape, by the way. You don't see it there, but if I was to zoom in a little bit. So he brings her up. It's not good. Which is why I said in my analysis of Euphiema not surviving and mild living, which was the main thing was that Euphiema was badly damaged by the bullet wound to the kidney or heart, whatever the case may be. But she sustained so much blood loss, she might have been gone way before he even got her to the Avalon. That's why they couldn't save her. I know some people say it was contrived. I don't think so, given how, if you look at the situation here, it's not good. I mean, you can't heal organs that are damaged. At least I don't think you can in this universe. Anyways, the Nightmare Frames are being launched, including the Gloucesters, and Euphiema is basically fighting for her life, and she's not winning it, unfortunately. We get to this part, and I could be wrong here, but so they take over the whole special administrative zone of Japan. They said like several times that what was it? They said that they took over the special administrative zone of Japan. So after they do that, so again we see the heart monitor, and she's fighting for her life. Come on, where's that scene? Yeah, so Tamaki beats up this guy and says, you lured us into a death trap. You made the big mistake of your life. And I'm gonna, again, this is pure how I put this. This is pure projection, I guess, or headcanon, but I think that guy who helped him work out the special administrative zone in Japan, I think he legitimately wanted to help the Japanese people out. I think Euphy picked out a group of people to help her out who were sympathizers for the Japanese people, who believed in equality. I don't assume everyone in the school was hardcore in belief of the, I guess the government's perspective on the world. So the guy that Tommy was actually punching was probably someone who legitimately wanted to do this. He had never planned, or the whole group behind it never planned the whole massacre. So Tamaki probably punched one of the only people in this whole world who actually probably was a sympathizer for Japanese people and wanted to legitimately help them out. I feel bad for that guy because he probably did want to assist the Japanese people and couldn't because of the Geass command. Again, that's just pure headcanon, but I thought that was the case because this guy looks surprised when Tommy is punching him. I mean, he's not even fighting against him. He's just taking it like, yeah, he's just like, look at his face. It's just, I assume this person had nothing to do with any of this. And Tamaki, again, showing his stupidity as usual. So back at the base, so we get this scene, and I was talking actually on the Discord earlier today, where you see Rakshata is talking to Detard, and Detar's saying like, I don't care about Brittanian, and she's like, you don't have any feeling for it. And these two people, I don't know what it is. Either they love their company, they're both sociopaths, but whatever the case may be, they both seem to play off each other very well. I don't know if there was a romance thing going on between Detard and Rakshata, but they were pretty close friends because they always look at each other with this expression. They have like the funniest dialogue moments in this story. Maybe not the funniest, but the most interesting ones. I've always speculated there might have been something going on between these two, but again, it's all speculation. Then Kage meets Zero for the first time, and Lelouch immediately recognizes her as that girl from back in the day. And then he says, "I'm going to be in charge of the Kyoto from now on. It's not going to be you guys," which is their only path of salvation, which I completely agree because they totally screwed this up. Meanwhile, back at the hospital or the Avalon, they said Euphy won't survive back to the homeland, and one guy is going to tell Cornelia, while someone else will I guess, do something else, I believe. Cecile and Llyod leave Suzaku with Euphiema, and they talk about like why she gave the command, even though she has no memory of it. She then said, "Oh, you're Japanese too," and she was going to kill or think about killing Suzaku, but ultimately does not because again she's dying, and when people are dying, Geass powers generally don't work. And also, she can no longer actually do the command. That's another restriction of the Geass power. Now, Euphy has no idea what just happened, so she's asking how did it go? Was it a success? And there's a good. I love this juxtaposition of scenes between Euphy and Suzaku discussing how the SAS was a success. He's lying to her because she's dying, giving her, I guess, he wants her to die with happiness and not sadness. Meanwhile, what's actually happening is Zero is forming the birth of a nation, the United States of Japan. So while one girl dies, a nation is born. I think it's a beautiful juxtaposition between the two scenes. And also we get to see Shinkei and his beautiful long hair. And again, it's just back and forth, like Lelouch is saying here, Euphemia's demonstration of Brittanian hypocrisy and how they killed everyone here, and everyone's like, yes, death to Euphy, may she burn in hell and all this stuff. Which honestly, I can't blame them. Meanwhile, Euphy's like, are they happy? Are they great? Yes, they're fine. It was a success. It's like, oh, thank God. Meanwhile, they're all chanting Zero's name and proclaiming that this new nation will be born and it's going to be better than the old one. We'll accept everyone for who they are. The strong will not take over the weak. And again, you see Euphy's talking with Suzaku, and she's saying, "I can't see you anymore," which is when she says, "I can't see you anymore," man, that's when the heartstrings start to feel it there. Also, side note, this is the scene I was talking about at the beginning. It shows a bunch of dead people. Anyhow, back to what I was saying here. She can't see Suzaku anymore, and this is right where it just starts to hurt. I'll give Show Ruff credit. She did a good job in this scene because you see Euphy saying, like, I never got a chance to finish school. You'll have to do it for me. And when I was thinking about this, she had to leave school to go to Japan to be a sub-viceroy for Cornelia. So she never got a chance to finish high school and just be like a normal person. Because all Euphiema ever wanted was to be a normal person. She didn't want to be this royal family. She didn't want these responsibilities. She just wanted to be Euphy. And we saw it because she gave her identity as to the right of the throne. And also when she's with Lelouch, it's just her. So this dialogue she's saying to Suzaku has more meaning than simply, I never got a chance to finish high school. I never got a chance to be a normal person. I live a normal life. You have to do that for me. It's man, this scene is so hard to watch. I don't know what it is. It's just to go back and forth here with what she's telling Suzaku and the realization that it's over and this is the last time that they'll talk to each other it's really depressing. And she tells him, I'm glad I was with you for the very end, and I'm glad we had this. And then the heart monitor goes down. And I also love how, I say love, not like I enjoy her death, but while her heartbeat is, the flatlining, you hear people chanting Zero in the background. Like, I love the, again, the juxtaposition of the scenes. One girl dies and a nation is born. It's really depressing, but also exciting at the same time. Again, all the emotions at this point. Then we go from one emotional scene to another. You see Lelouch, he's walking in. I'm not sure exactly where this is, a building, and they're discussing the background about like the different areas and who's revolting against what since this whole ordeal has occurred. And C2 asks Lelouch about his Geass power, but I thought it was kind of cute. And again, this is I never mentioned in my video about Lelouch loving C2 or not, but it was kind of cute that he purposely looked away from C2 because he didn't want to use the Geass accidentally on her. But then C2 said, yeah, but you know it doesn't work on me, right? So you don't have to worry about it. But I think it was kind of cute that he looked away because he didn't want to use the gas on her accidentally. Anyhow, he explained. He goes, "I guess you're right." He explains like what happened with the gas power. But before that, he talks to Nunnally, and she's talking about I want to see Euphy again, and it dawns on Lelouch that they never will see Euphy again, and that's what I like about the scene. Like he was the whole time Lelouch was out there being Zero and not being Lelouch, and getting the Bloodknights together, fighting against the Brittanian forces, forming a nation of Japan. He completely, on some level, forgot about Euphy or what he did to her. Now, obviously, he had to bring her up in his rhetoric, but that was all theater. But the whole idea of like the impact it had on him, especially with Nunnally, he kind of forgot about all that, or not forgot. He purposely, I guess, purposely forgot about it or put in the back burner. But when Nunnally calls him, he has to think about that, really think about that, and that's why he's very upset. So when C2 asks about what happened with the gas ability, he first starts out very like calm. I used the gas power on her. I think she was resisting it, probably because it was the opposite of her nature. And then he just breaks down and he starts to cry, and she's holding him. You don't see him crying here because she's hugging him, but she's crying. I mean, he's crying. It's a really sad scene. Like both Suzaku and Lelouch, these are some of their lowest points in the story in terms of their emotional level, because this was a very intense moment. Another one wanted this, and it was it was something else. This is a very emotional episode. There's a lot of action too, but definitely an emotional roller coaster. Now, as a result of the massacre of the Special Administrative Zone of Japan, or we'll say SAS, the terrorist groups come together to fight Brittania, and the Black Knights pretty much swallow all of them up, and they have like 10,000 plus troops, which is not much. You would think it'd be more to fight against Brittania, but whatever. They ultimately don't want to do anything because they want Cornelia to lead. Guilford's like, we won't do anything until the Viceroy comes in. Meanwhile, Cornelia just found her sister was massacred by Zero, and as you can see, she's really upset. Now, I know this observation, and I guess I'm sure most probably didn't, but you see Euphiema. Cornelia is upset about what happened. It shows an image of them as kids. Then you see Nina's face freaking out. Now, in stage 24, when Cornelia fights Lelouch on the Ares Villa, which we'll talk, not Ares Villa, I keep saying that, the top of the bureau, which looks like Ares Villa, you see Nina saying Euphiema, and then Cornelia says will be avenged. So this is the first of two times they show Nina and Cornelia respond to Zero in the story. I'm not sure if any significance to it, but I really like that juxtaposition, even though this is Nina's freak out face. When they're in the G1 base, they mentioned how, I think it was, let me just make sure I got this right. It was they mentioned a certain terrorist group, Blood the Samurai. If you remember, Blood and Samurai was wiped out by Cornelia in episode 6. Remember those people? They were in those like it was like those caves, and you had the turrets and stuff. That was the Blood of the Samurai. So they were mostly wiped out, but their main ones joined them, which was kind of interesting. Then Kallen says here she doesn't want to hurt the student council because she's she likes them, even given this situation, which is a nice growth of Kallen, because I think before that she hated all Brittanians, which makes sense. But because the student council was so nice to her, she actually doesn't want them to suffer, which is, again, small growth, but we'll take it. C2 drops Marianne's name. She basically implies the whole time she was talking to Marianne, either because she's crazy or because she's actually talking to her, which again is why that whole part about V2 sending them to, not her, but sending Lelouch, Suzaku, and Kallen to Kamina Island made no sense, because I don't want to go into it, but I'm still really confused about that. Then we see Valletta watching the window, and then she's talking to Ogi at the same time. They're spray painting, by the way, all the Sutherlands as black. Actually, that's silver, gold. I think it's black, actually. Maybe it's just the lighting. Who the heck knows? Anyway, Ogi's talking to Valletta, and he said there's things we got to talk about when I get back. I think I know what he meant by that. Unfortunately, it doesn't go too well because these bunch of thugs break in to attack Valletta because she's spying on them. I don't know if they're going to kill her, rape her, both, but thank God we never see what happens there. Then we get the scene where Rivel is can't get a hold of Lelouch, I believe, and then he mentions Lulu, and she's like, "Lulu, I called her that." And he's like, "There you go again," because again, Shirley has no memories of this. She's really confused as to what the heck Rivel's talking about. Psycho is randomly staying outside the student council. I mean, the Ashford Academy. Nina is working on a secure explosion nuclear bomb to avenge everyone, and I got the impression based on what she said, and I wrote a point here, which was where was it? Yeah, I think Nina said she was going to kill herself to stop Zero. I got the impression to avenge Euphiema, she was going to kill herself. But I could be completely wrong. V2 makes his first appearance, and he talks to Suzaku about Geass and what happened. I don't think he specifically brings it up in this part of the episode, but he meets Suzaku. He can teleport. That's why he got on the ship. Meanwhile, the Black Rebellion is full on effect. There's constantly there's already struggles occurring. They want to take over the bureau, obviously, and then they'll win. Cornelia jumps in, despite being obviously very depressed at this point, to take over and command her troops. Then Lelouch says something that's absolutely ridiculous to me. He says, or not ridiculous, stupid. He said, "Kill Cornelia, and the day is ours." Now, the reason why this is stupid is because they need to capture Cornelia so he can interrogate her. If he kills Cornelia, he'll never find out who killed his parents, his mother. So I don't know if it was a bad dubbing or what, but that was a really strange dialogue. Then Lelouch walks down the stairs, and we get the first Kaguya scene with them. And she says, we're going to win. I want to be your husband, your representative. I might be, short, but I'll grow up to you. I'm the goddess of victory, all that stuff. I'll be your representative. And Lelouch said, listen, that's great and all, but I've already made a contract with a witch. I have no room in my life for deities. I love this whole back and forth. And C2 kind of walks with Lelouch almost like, I don't know, it was kind of funny. She was saying he basically insulted her. At the same time, though, C2 or acknowledged herself as a witch, so maybe it was an ongoing gag at the time, but still, I like this scene a lot. It's one of the best in the anime. It just shows who his real intentions were, who he really wants to be with. Although is Kage this stupid? He said, I got to deal with a witch, and C2 follows him. I think she figured out later on that C2 and Lelouch might have been a thing based on that one weird episode in Stage 7. But I could be wrong there. Anyhow, they want to transport Jeremiah back to the homeland, as they discussed with Schneisel, but Jeremiah breaks out in all his gloriness and loyalty. Then we get this awesome scene. This is one of my favorites in R1. You see the background. Look at all the Borais, the cars, the G1 base, and Lelouch is leading all of them in the Gwain. It's one of the coolest scenes in the entire series. I love this backdrop. I would love to see a new version of it, like high def quality, and maybe improve a little bit on the visuals in the background, the visuals in the background. But still, this is one of my favorite moments from the series. Lelouch gives out an ultimatum. He says, surrender or die. Meanwhile, Dalton is on his way to Cornelia, and I love how he says, "I gotta be with her." Now, his eyes are closed. There was good foreshadowing here because the eyes are closed. And he said he has to be of Cornelia, which is what his command was. So, good foreshadowing on their part. They didn't give away what his true intentions were. Cornelia states like this thing's a fortress and he'll never break through it, which we know he does. Before he does, though, C2 tries to tell Lelouch that, what you're about to do is going to have effects that consequences you may not be able to deal with. You're going to put the whole world into war. And Lelouch is like, I don't care. Or I don't think he said I don't care. I think he just he acknowledged this. Then Suzaku calls him and he says, Lelouch, and as people pointed out on Reddit when I posted the quote, I completely agree. He asked Lelouch a question. Could you ever hate anyone that you would murder them? And I'm thinking, Suzaku, listen, I defended you for months, but let's be honest for a moment. How did Lelouch get in this mess in the first place? Maybe because his father, I don't know, exiled him? Maybe his mother's death was his father's fault. Are you this stupid, man? You even in the picture drama, Suzaku even admits that as kids he was aware that Lelouch was going to kill his father, and he wanted to do so. So Suzaku, this oh god, the dialogue is so stupid here. And what's even more egregious is that whole picture drama, when we get to it, while I think it's a very good one, it contradicts half the stuff in this story, which we'll get to when we get there. But what Suzaku was saying here was just so stupid, man. The other part, I get it. I'm going to be a murderer. Tell everyone not look in the sky, whatever. Since Euphy, time has stopped for me, which is funny because the clock is literally on her, which I thought was kind of, symbolic. I think he said the clock stopped here, or maybe in the picture drama. I might be confusing the two of them. But either way you look at it, part of what Suzaku says is understandable, but that first part was ridiculous to me. I love this look, by the way. This is one of my favorite expressions he makes in the whole series. He is so pissed off. And I love, I made this in the thumbnail, how Suzaku's face and Lelouch's form like one half, which makes sense. If you take this one, you combine them, it's literally a full face. That definitely was not an accident that they had the two halves while they were talking. So I thought it was kind of cool. Lelouch tells him, yes, embrace the dark side. Give in to the hate. Think about Zero, whatever it was. No, think of Euphy. And he goes, thank you, I will. And then he causes the panels to collapse. And then he starts mocking everyone and laughing hysterically and saying, I welcome this, Suzaku. This is always what I wanted, creation, destruction. And he just starts laughing. It's such a great scene. If you watch the dub, like John Bosch's voice acting here is just some of the best, his best work in the story. And I think they were referencing these panels when they were going over the Tokyo settlement in 21, when they discussed the solar panels. I got to do more research on that, but I think there was discussion about how the settlement actually worked with the panels. But I could be completely wrong there. And that's 23. I mean, it's full of emotion because you have Lelouch trying to deal with Euphemia's death. He forms the nation of United States of Japan. He starts the rebellion. And he has to deal with the fact that he killed his sister, but he has to also move on to lead the Black Knights to victory, to capture Cornelia, find out who killed his mother. I mean, there's so much stuff happening in this episode, a complete roller coaster of emotions, and it's a good episode. Lots of things in play there, and the ending is just, it's crazy. Lelouch is kind of crazy at this point. Like, I always wanted this, the end of the world, creation, destruction. He's basically an alchemist. Armstrong. Creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. That was my horrible Armstrong impersonation. Okay. Let me read some comments and we'll go through the picture drama. Hopefully okay. We can't see. My bad. Bye, Phoenix. Thanks for coming, by the way. And I know if you watch it on a replay, which if you do or don't, definitely come to more live streams. I appreciate all the people come here to comment and watch. I mean that sincerely. So if you are watching the replay of this, please come again. Thank you. Come again. Forget Apu. Suzaku saw Euphemia order the deaths of the Japanese people, and he didn't know that she was hypnotized. It may look like Suzaku cares more about Euphemia than all the Japanese victims. Yes, that's something that some people have pointed out to me, and I agree with it because it did seem like that. That doesn't mean, by the way, that he doesn't care about the Japanese people at all, or that he never wanted to help them out. It's just that in that moment, his only priority was Euphemia and not the Japanese people who were all massacred as a result of her actions. That's a very good point. I was actually thinking that. I think evidence that the Gurren is tougher than the Lancelot. I think so, yeah. You mentioned before, here, I'll put the count up. You mentioned before how the punch to the gut was the killing blow to the Lancelot, and the Lancelot used it against the, what was it? Whatever the nightmare frame that that Shamla's younger brother was piloting. The Sumagi? Sumagi? Okay, I'm looking it up. I have to look it up. 1 second. Shamna. Give me your power. Oh, God. Freaking idiot. Shalio. What was Shalio's nightmare frame called? I think it was called the Shuminagi or something. Nagi Chu. What was it? What was it? What is this called? Nagi Chu Mane. All right, whatever. I was close. I was very close. I knew it was something of that nature. It's a very strange name. Okay. I win nothing for this stupidity. Mal had better survivor skills than Euphiema. I think it was just dumb luck, but that could be the case. Suzaku was unconscious when she gave the orders, so he would find the whole situation to be confusing. He does ask her about it. Yeah, but I think the point still stands that he wasn't even like totally upset seeing Janet people dead. Like you see, regardless if Schneider's response was genuine or not, at least he had a response to seeing a bunch of dead people. Suzaku was like, "Where's Euphy? Where's Euphy? Where's Euphy? Dude, there are dead Japanese people everywhere, and the only thing you care about is where Euphy's at. Literally, dead people everywhere." So that's, I think, the point that Code Geass anime fans trying to make, and I honestly can't disagree with that because why isn't he even disgusted what he's saying? Like what he's saying. Like hypothetically, let's say he walked in, he shows the Schneider's little freak out face, and then says, "Okay, where's Euphiema?" or something, or maybe better yet, Guilford or Dalton, whoever, I guess it'd be Guilford, says, go find Euphiema or something. Like maybe Suzaku could have been like freaked out by the whole thing, and then gets like slapped in the face, "Yeah, go find Euphiema or something." But instead, his only response is the fact that Euphiema, where is she? Not the Japanese people, which is, I think, the point, which I think is a fair point. Mao had more point in survival and rolled a net 20. Yes, D&D references. Both between Llyod and Dieter, I think Oshada has a thing for bad boys. I think so, and sociopaths, because both Llyod and Dieter are sociopaths. I think she just loves men who just don't give a damn. Very weird stuff. Rakshada is a crazy woman, let's be honest. A beautiful but crazy woman. And smart, too. Again, Tamaki has arrogant anger issues and stupidity problem. Pretty much. Pretty much indeed. Don't attack the people who organized it. You don't know the whole story. I don't blame her for being angry, but I don't know how hurting these random guys who probably had nothing to do with anything would solve the problem. Okay, tested translator only works on horizontal text. Vertical ones look kind of strange. Not 100% bad, but don't know if I'd recommend. I'll do some research too. There might be some ways to translate manga text. Are you using like a website that reads it, or like are you using the standard manga reader or manga decks, or are you downloading it and using like a local translator? We can talk more if you're on the Discord if you want. I'll see you on the Discord. This is probably makes me sound like a bad guy, but I wish Euphiema had died earlier in the show. You know, she could have gone back to high school too, right? She didn't have to die. But I understand. If you don't like the character, yeah, it makes sense. Me personally, her whole character in general brought a huge conflict in the story, and they ultimately decided to kill her off because they couldn't resolve it in any other way. So I get it. Double at a title feels strange at least. Double at the title strange at least. Not sure what that means. I feel like C2 is written as both a mother figure and a love interest to Lelouch, which might sound creepy, but I think it works in the context of the show. I think it really depends on what stage of the story you're talking about, because early on, she was definitely a mother or even a mentor to Lelouch, and then later on, they eventually fell in love because Lelouch proved to be her equal as opposed to her inferior, which was the case early on in the story. She has both of those. She has motherly and also just romantic inclinations with Lelouch. Again, I agree. It's not creepy because it's not like she is her mother. She is his mother, but more the fact that she just kind of filled that void a little bit early on in the relationship. But it wasn't like a typical mother. You know, you don't just abandon your children. At least a good mother wouldn't. But then again, she also did that, and I'm talking about stage 15 for reference. She joined Mao because she wanted to protect Lelouch as a parent would, sacrificing yourself for your children. So there is some truth to that. She even tells Lelouch several times, "I don't want you to die, and because of my contract, you won't die," or something like that. So I didn't find that creepy. I find it confusing that C2 casually talks to Marion since Marion is married to Charles, who is Lucia's arch enemy. Why doesn't C2 ever tell Lucia about Marion? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Okay, the entire subplot with C2 talking to Marion was never fully explained. Was poorly handled, and it leads to the climax in the Ragnarok connection, which is one of the worst parts explaining the story. It was the whole subplot was dumb to me because if Mariana and Charles are working together and they want C2, why on earth they know where she is? If Mariana's talking to C2, then she knows where she's at. They can get her anytime they want for the Ragnarok connection. It was so bizarre to me that they explained later on how like it had to be Lelouch because C2 left, but then they were searching for for C2. Like it's the rest of the story. I think has a pretty solid narrative. The whole thing with C2, Mariana, and Charles was horribly handled. A huge mess. This is why R2 had to be redone because it was so confusing. They'll never do it, by the way, but yeah, I don't know. There are some conversations that are borderline ridiculous to me. I mean, when C2's talking to Marion about transporting people to Kamina Island, Marion can't do that, so it was V2. I don't know. My head hurts trying to understand this, so I'm going to stop at this point. Um, Nina freak out face was disturbing. Absolutely. I'm surprised the Black Knights. Actually, that one first. Okay. I'm surprised the Black Knights didn't question or thinking if Euphy wanted to kill the Japanese, then why did she choose Suzaku as her knight? Look, some people were even suggesting. I think it was the Kyoto was saying Euphy would never kill the Japanese people. Look, no one knows for sure why any of this happened or why she wouldn't have done it. Yeah, there was a lot of speculation. I'm actually kind of surprised, and then again, I'm also not because R2 was kind of a disaster in this regard, but remember when Kazase killed himself and Ogi was like, why would he have done that? And Dieter's like, I agree. Why would he have done that? But yet, when this happens, Ogi doesn't question it at all. He doesn't talk with Dieter or any of the Black Knights and said, how come Euphiema, would Euphiema have actually done this? This seems really bizarre to me, the whole situation. Like, it was out of character for her to kill all the Japanese people, given the fact, like you said, right, that she chose a Japanese as her knight. And they don't really explore it. Now, granted, you could argue, well, they're about to declare, they found a nation, they're about to declare war against Brittania, but still, even like a side conversation. I mean, in turn 18, you see Asuna talking to Todu about the massacre of the Geass Order, so if they really wanted to talk about it, even during combat, they could have. And they never do, which was kind of surprising, considering Ogi questions a lot of Lucia's actions in the story. And Dieter knew what was going on. He figured it out from the get-go. So, it's a good point. I'm kind of surprised they never did. I agree with that one. As for some pretty lenient rules, if someone can build a freaking nuke in their basement, well, remember, Nina was working on this since like day one. She was splitting atoms on the computer when Llyod was even talking to her. So I guess she had the equipment to work on it. The truth is, I bet you they gave her the equipment to do it for different science experiments, not realizing that if someone put the certain things together, you could get a nuclear explosion. My assumption is that they didn't know, considering she's the one who invented the flare warhead. We do know that Sakuradite can blow up, obviously, and Radiant Darkness is used as like an exploding device, and Lelouch blows it up during the Battle of Schneizel when he ignites the Mount Fuji. So Sakuradite is explosive. So I guess giving her to Nina was kind of stupid. Yeah, you know what? It was pretty dumb. I was trying to rationalize it. There's nothing to rationalize. It's a fair point. Okay, so just don't use screen translator on VNs in the manga. It tries to translate. It tries to translate and kind of does, but it's so messed to read. All right, more research will be required. Is it just me, or is Bartley one of the most sympathetic or side characters? It just seems like things never go his way. No, he's not sympathetic. When Clovis was killing the Japanese people, he was in favor of it. I mentioned that in my episode 1 review, episode 1 discussion. I said, like, he's like, yeah, kill those parasites, kill those people. I'm like, no, Bart Leach is as bad as anyone else. I don't feel bad for him at all. I mean, he supported Clovis, who was a mass murderer. In all honesty, he deserved to die, not because of Clovis's death or the Kodar project. He deserves to die for supporting the mass genocide of the Japanese people in the Shinjuku ghetto. So no, I don't feel bad. When when that guy shot him in the Geass massacre, or whoever the Black Knight member was, I didn't feel anything. The guy was a piece of crap. It's one thing, and I said before in that episode review, it's one thing to be part of the Brittanian military and not participate in the acts. It's another to be okay with it and support it. And he was supportive of those actions. He loved the royal family, I'll give him that, but what he did there was unacceptable. To be honest, I never really liked Kaguya simply because the whole Zero being white thing was very annoying. And also cringy too, right? I mean, and kind of also creepy because he's, what, 17, 18, she's like 13, 14. I mean, it was annoying, creepy, and what was the thing I said? Annoying, creepy, and I don't know, whatever it was. The point is, it wasn't good. Forced to. Oh, God. Kaguya's character, like, she's a brilliant tactician and a good leader, but I couldn't stand the whole wife thing at all. It was an annoying side plot. I can't help but that Code Geass and the Dark Knight have similar ideas of you either die here or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yeah, I even did a video about it, comparing him to Llyod. Yeah, very, very similar themes. Lelouch basically died a hero, but he also became the villain, which is kind of funny. I'm not a fan of Kaguya either. I felt she didn't add much to the show. She just added the whole lolicon crap to this series and possibly created the whole harem the harem crap with this story. Because until Kaguya jumped in, there never was more than one person ever interested in Lelouch. There never even was a suggestion there was a harem until she brought it up. She literally ruins the whole story in that regard. I get from a political point of view, she's an interesting character, but her whole thing with Zero, it just wasn't it. It was a very annoying subplot. Again, Suzaku may have some combat or by intelligence, but he's not an idiot. Agreed, he's not. Damn, that's whoa. Got a new person here. W. Kane. Awesome. I'm disgusted on Discord. I discussed it on Discord. I probably would change the name of the server. I'm disgusted on Discord. Actually, I probably would change the name for the server. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me go on that real quick. Are you saying you're on it as? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold up. Yeah. Let's see. Did you say you're on the Discord or you want to join it? I forgot what you said. But anyways, anyhow. I'm disguised in Discord XD. I probably would change the name of the server. I would change the name of the server. Okay. By the way, I tried using a screen translator. You can use a Genesis code. Yeah, I know that. I tried using it. Oh, did it work? There's actually one that I'm not. What's his name? Tem uses. It's called the Q app. I used it recently. It's actually better than the one I suggested. It's also cheaper if you want to pay for the subscription for it. I mean, long term it's not, but short term it is. Still can't believe the writers never had Suzaku learn that Euphemia's Geass was an accident in R2. That should have been one of the most obvious things to do. Welcome, W. Kane. Yes, the problem is when Suzaku was questioned, or when Suzaku questioned Lelouch about it, he doubled down on it because Lelouch always doubles down on all of his crimes. He never says, well, he never defends himself. He always says, yeah, I did it, and he likes to go the next level, like Super Saiyan 3. So he never. That's why he didn't know about it. Now, granted, V2 didn't tell Suzaku that it was an accident. I assume V2 knew. He probably wanted to manipulate Suzaku to go after Zero. That's probably my assumption for why he told him that. Which, by the way, was listed here. I don't know what I don't know where it was, but maybe it was 24 when Suzaku was going after Lelouch, and he thinks about that conversation with V2. Either way you look at it, I'm pretty sure V2 manipulates Suzaku to do this. So, fair point. The writer should have had Suzaku learn. But that means I must tell the truth. I must never no matter what. Interesting. Euphy could have just wanted Japanese to be her knight and gain her trust. Be easier than hits than magic. Yeah, that can also be a simpler explanation. I think the original plan was for Shadow to want the Ragnarok. He was researching Kamina Island and turned Jeremiah into a cyborg. Honestly, I wish it had just gone that route and not done the whole subplot with Marion, C2, and Charles. It just wasn't handled well. When you bring up, there's a lot of subplots in R2 that contradict R1. I know that there was a different direction the show went on. That's why it's called R2, because literally they went a whole new direction with the story. But still, it could be done way better. In all honesty, they could have made an R3 story that would have been R1 continue, like where they actually want to take R1. That'd be kind of interesting. Imagine asks for a janitor surprise when he discovers a bomb while cleaning the basement. Maybe that's why there was a turret set up. Yeah, maybe. Disguised. Oh, you are on it. Okay, cool. I know you said that the rewrite Code Geass will take time, but which characters would you cut out or remove from the story? I don't think I'd remove everyone out from the story. I would simply, I don't think anyone needs to go away except for Tamaki. Okay, Tamaki needs to go, and maybe Bradley or rewrite Bradley. Tamaki, I don't think you could fix his character, but Bradley, you probably could. I would honestly just give more time to characters, make the story longer, or cut out people. If you are gonna cut out people, you could definitely go through the Knights of the Round and cut out at least 3 or 4 members of that. You can cut out 3 or 4 members of the Black Knight founding members. You can cut out certain members of the royal family that are not as relevant. Because if you're gonna have a story with this many episodes, you can't have this many characters. So I'd say keep the core people and cut everyone else out, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, though, if you're not going to do anything with them, don't have them. And I would say maybe a controversial opinion, but get rid of Shirley. Just focus on Kallen, C2, and Lelouch. Don't even have Shirley in the story. She's basically, as much as I love her character, the story doesn't even care too much about her. They constantly put her on the sidelines anyway. So, fun fact: Seaver made an article on Tragic Heroes, and they put Lelouch on it saying he didn't want to die. And I'm simply playing. Oh my god. Yes, he did want to die. What? The only people who should kill are those who appear to be killed. Oh my god. They even in article just our code. I'm like, so they find recognize more than just the original anime. Their article came on after mine, and I'm still ranking the search results for it, so they can piss off for all I care. Get rid of Rivals. Facts. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, let me one more comment, then I'll go to the picture drama. I would have made V2 the big baddie for most R2 with him setting Geass assassin after Lelouch. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool. Again, the problem with R2, it's just not focused. R2 is very unfocused and all over the place. If they had picked one main plot to go off, it could have been really good. That's the problem with it. If I was simplifying it like one sentence, that's the problem with R2 in a nutshell. Technically, Rivel helps the plot begin. Yes, that is true. If it wasn't for Rivals and his stupid car, Lelouch never would have gotten from the truck, and it never would have crashed, and he never would have met C2, and none of it would have happened. So yes, technically, Rivel is a key important person in the story. But so what? I think you two's name like Couts again? Why? What'd you post this time? Huh. I know on YouTube you can't post links or something. Maybe some expletive. Look, I will say one thing about your point here. Not only is YouTube deleting your comments, let's say in this chat, but I'm constantly going through my feed and I find comments that people post and they're gone from the videos. And they're not even that awful, honestly. Some are a little lewd, I will admit, but most of them are harmless and they're gone off the videos. And I assume people are not deleting comments and YouTube is doing it for them. I'm upset about that because I actually want to respond to some of them and they're deleting it outright from my channel. And I specifically tried to remove all the restrictions to get rid of them. I can't control like spam links and stuff, but like I don't really care if you use expletive as long as it's like I guess relevant. But some stuff is just getting deleted outright. I was like, I'll give you an example that was harmless. Someone wrote a comment about the Cecile short I made, and they said, she's really attractive, especially when she did that whole scene where she put on her the nightmare frame pilot outfit. I forgot what they're called. They said it was like her hottest scene, and that's all the person said. That's all they said. And for some reason, YouTube removed the comment. I have no idea why. It was harmless. I don't even disagree with it, but whatever. It's where we live in nowadays. Ranting is fun. I think Schneizel should have been the big bad of R2. You could have had Schneizel, V2, or something, but what you had here was just ugh. Okay, I got to move on to the picture drama because we'll be here all day discussing this, which I love doing, but I do want to get through all the main stuff first. Okay, let's go for the picture drama real quick. And as I said earlier, this picture drama is really good. It is. I'm not going to deny that. But I also have to acknowledge the fact that it contradicts like half the story, which is really weird to me, but you'll see what I mean. Okay. So it starts off with Suzaku, and he's kind of contemplating, why all this happened. Why is he fighting? And he thinks about this flashback, which we saw in the first episode of R1, where he's talking to Lelouch about what they're going to do. Lelouch mentions that they're going to basically get forgery IDs, and they're going to die, so they can't be the pawns anymore. Because if they're dead, they obviously can't find them. That was his initial plan. He also mentions that they're going to work with the Ashfords, which is interesting. And what's also I like is that Lelouch is like, 7 here? Or 10 years old, rather? And he's discussing how he wants to use the Ashfords for his own benefit. This is a 10-year-old person, a child, who is already manipulating people using his intellect to, manipulate others. I find that funny. That he's like, we're going to manipulate these people. Very interesting. So they want him for something bad happens, but they're going to use him too. So it's fascinating stuff there. And they can't go back home, for obvious reasons. So they're going to work out for them. Now, this is the part which I don't like. So they ask Suzaku, what are you going to do? And they say, okay, are you going with Todu? And Suzaku says he can't find him. So what's his options? He goes to Brittania. Basically, he's going to join the Brittanian military. It can't be helped. Kyoto says it's going to cooperate with the Brittania. And apparently also, Kaga is only who's going to be a successor, not him, even though he's the son of Genbu. The reason why this pisses me off is because when you see Suzaku meeting up with Lelouch 7 years in the future in episode 1, Lelouch says you joined the Brittanian military as if he was surprised. Why is he surprised? He literally told him as a child that he was going to join the Brittanian military. As a child, he knew this already. So why is he surprised when he meets up with him in R1? I know it's a minor nitpick, but it's just like, really? Why would you make, if you have the whole story in front of you when you make these picture dramas, why on earth would you contradict yourself in a story that comes out later? Why would you do that? Just stay consistent with the story. All you had to do is have Suzaku go, I might join the Brittanian military, or I'm not sure what I want to do. I'll figure it out. He literally said he's joining Brittanian military. Why would Lelouch be surprised about this? It's really frustrating. I love the dialogue. I think it's good stuff, but it contradicts the story a little bit there. But on a positive note, a real positive note, you see Nunnally, this I didn't notice it before, but she holds Suzaku's hand, right? Like this. I think someone might have mentioned this in an earlier stream, but we'll see if someone referenced it. But so let me go to stage 6. I'm almost there. By the way, that was the Blood Samurai that she was wiping out here. Anyhow, so we go to stage 6. Now watch this. So Suzaku's going to walk in, and Lelouch gives her the okay. And look at the way he grabs her hand. This is what I didn't realize before. Watch the way he grabs the hand. I'm sure someone brought this up too. I forgot about it. See this? Now let me close the playlist here. We don't want to see that. Let me shrink this a little bit. The way that he's holding her hand here is the same way she held his hand back then. That's why she knew it was him, because of the way she held the way he held her hand. It wasn't that she recognized the hand or whatnot. She recognized the way it was held. The muscle memory when she was a kid holding his hand is the same way he's holding her hand here. And I believe her mother taught her that. That's why she recognized Suzaku back then, which I didn't realize until watching this actually recently. Now, I think someone pointed this out, but we're episode 23, and that was what? Episode 6? That was months ago. But I believe someone did. But even if they didn't, I'm glad they at least explained this strange scene, because people have questioned, like, how did Nunnally know that was Suzaku? Well, it's the way he grabbed her hand. It was reminiscent of the time that she touched him before they both went separate ways. So there's that. Now, so Suzaku, he said he might make a mistake. They both had to go their separate ways. This was the end of their friendship, I guess, is what he was saying here. And then Lelouch declares he's going to destroy Brittania. Suzaku also contemplates during this whole picture drama what could have been if he had not, gone down this path. Could they lived a different life, which is very possible. But one thing that confused me, and again, this is why, again, 23 in general was kind of stupid, because Lelouch said he was going to destroy Brittania. And Suzaku was like, if you're going to destroy Brittania, then you're going to kill your own father. See, what you wrote was the murder of your own father. So why would Suzaku ask him on the phone, would you ever kill anyone? When he literally knows he was going to kill someone. Again, it's just really weird. Like, why would you literally contradict your own characters in a picture drama that, again, is very good, but like, wow. It's this is actually worse than other ones. This is worse than the Brittanian military critique I made a couple minutes ago, because if you watch this in chronological order, you'd go 23 and then this, and you'd be saying to yourself, wait a minute, he just said, would you ever want to kill someone? And it was just like, I would. Why would you ask that? You already know the answer to that question. Very strange stuff. And okay, this is part I got it wrong. Here's where he said, the time has stopped on me. And then we get these really nice scenes of that part, again, the hand holding, which I mentioned earlier. But these scenes of just Lelouch and Suzaku having fun together. There's actually one, I think I got them all here. See, they're just having fun like at the beach, I think. These are really nice moments in the story. There's another part where, again, you see Lelouch is like, he's seeing his death with the chess piece, which is kind of funny. And he doesn't want to believe in Lelouch's true wish to destroy Brittania. And then again, it shows them with Nunnally and stealing a rabbit, which is kind of cute. He basically calls Lelouch his worst friend. And I'm just really confused with this whole situation, because he doesn't know Lelouch is Zero at this time. So when he says worst friend, I guess he means that Lelouch wants to destroy Brittania and he doesn't. I'm kind of confused. If he knew Lelouch was Zero, then I guess it would make sense. But this is 23, and he didn't learn his identity until R1 25. So I'm kind of confused what he meant by this. I guess it means their philosophies. I don't know. An accident of birth tied you to me as my first real enemy. Because I just don't understand why they're enemies. Maybe I misconstrued this, but this is so confusing to me. He's not fighting against Brittania. He's fighting for Brittania. Lelouch is fighting against Brittania, but how does he know that? It's really strange stuff. I don't. I have like mixed feelings about this, but overall, I don't know. It's not my. I'm legitimately confused as to what is going on in this scene. But that's 23 picture drama. I still thought it was pretty good. Actually, it's 23 point, what did I say, 9.5 or something? Yeah, 9.5. It's a pretty good. It's pretty good. At least they added more lore to the story and gave you some background knowledge, which is what these picture dramas are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be like these dumb filler stuff. They're supposed to be like filling in the gaps between events, and this one does a good job of that. I wish there was more of this, and less of that stupid Cloveless Land one, which was so stupid. What a waste of existence. You can do both fan service and fill in the gaps at the same time. It's not a crime. Okay, let me read some comments, and we're going to do some summoning. Summoning. Let me close all these tabs. Yeah, I got so many tabs opened up. Let me close all these out real quick. Okay. Let me read the comments real quick, and then we will get started. Jesus Christ. I think Shazo should have been a big. Oh, Bye, Pilo. I gotta go. Good night. Good night, dude. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Have you listened to any of the audio dramas? I love the ones where Lelouch was trying to figure out how to assassinate Clovis even before he got Geass. I did. The audio dramas are very good for the most part. There's some really they're really fillery, but they're still fun. Thoughts on the original plan that R1, R2 meant to be one series rather than two seasons? If it was well thought out, I would agree. It'd be a good idea. Plus, in the same age of the brilliant chess player and some of the kid who made a sign language over 500 words. Exactly. He's pretty smart. Schnazzo also took Marion's body after she died, so he probably was supposed to be her partner? Oh. Yeah, I guess it's one way to interpret it. I might know why my comments are not being seen. Tell me if anyone sees either of both these comments. Japanese. I could see Japanese one because no one watches the picture drama, let alone knows they exist. Fair point. I only see the Japanese. I love the picture drama where Lelouch practices to assassinate Clovis even before getting Geass. Do you think he could have done that before he met C2? Maybe. I mean, Clovis is incompetent. And I think I didn't exit because I was curious about the picture drama, and now I'm probably out. Okay. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Okay, apparently only using the 3 letters of Japanese is a big no. Might be a racial slur thing. I was trying to limit my typing. Oh, because you're saying Jap. Oh, that's stupid. Come on, really? Wow. That's stupid. I if that's your reasoning, the reason behind that's stupid. Okay. I'll change the audio real quick. Alright, we are going to be summoning a lot of characters today. This is going to be a mass summoning. I want to get Kallen, even though I hate her look, and I kind of want to rant about it, but I'm not going to because it's already 10 o'clock in my time and I'm exhausted, but her animation is so frustrating. Alright, let's do this. First, we're going to summon a bunch of 3s and 2s. Alright, here we go. Oh, the guy next to Kallen? That's Ashley from Akito the Exiled. The OVA nobody watched. Unfortunately. Here we go. First summon of 10. Here we go, people. Alright, we got... Ooh! C2 and her face, though. Her face is just not... I don't know. Okay, here we go. That face doesn't give me any confidence. Usually when she's, like, really scared, that's when you know it's a good summon. We're going to get 3s in this for sure. I'm not sure anything beyond that. Let's see. Oh, we're getting a lot of... A 4? Guys, we're getting a 4 in this summon, I think. What the hell? What the hell? Okay, damn. Alright. Alright, we're getting Shirley. Okay. Shirley's a really good character in this game. Thank God. I need more Cecile replicas. Or relics. Valletta. Okay. Our first 3. Okay, Toad, that's good. More relics, can't hurt. I didn't love his character anyways. Alright. Awesome. What's next? Gino! Not a fan of Gino's character. I don't even use him in this game. Oh, here we go. Our rank 4. Who is it? Alright, that's fine. I get Akito again. I got him last week. Or no, 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. That's good. We got a relic for him. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to complain too much. Todu again. Alright. It's fine. We need the relics anyways. This is our first round anyhow of this. And we get Shirley again. Okay. That's good. And Cecile again. Excellent. I'll take all the free relics. And our last 3 is... Yukia. Okay. Not bad. We got Akito. I'm not too upset about this. Alright, let's next round. Yeah, I know the duplicates. Damn it. Alright, next round of 10. Here we go. Okay. C2? Oh, no C2. That's not her voice. That was weird. Okay, anyways. This one won't have any 4s in it. It's gonna be mostly 3s. Let's see what we get. 1 3. That's probably gonna be it. Oh, 2 3s. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Can we please get Llyod for crying out loud? Okay, more Cecile. Good. I'm trying to get all the relics for her, so I don't mind that. Ugh. Piss off, Ogi. Todo's good too. I'll take all her relics. She's a very powerful character. Oh god. Oh, shut up, man. No one likes you. Alright, that's fine. I don't mind getting her relics. She's pretty useful for duplicates. It's not really what I wanted, but we'll take it, I guess. Ugh, Valletta. And... no! Let's go for it. It's fine. I have no qualms against the man. Ogi again. Yay. Not really. Jeremiah! Piss off, Jeremiah. No offense. I didn't want that. Okay. Well, alright. Okay, that was our first summoning with the tickets. So with the silver 1 rank 4, not bad. What would be your ideal Code Geass video game? Turn-based story, RPG, mecha action. I want an RTS game, like Advance Wars, but only I want an Advance Wars RTS game that has all the same battles from the original series that you command, or even any RTS game, or an action story game like Armored Core, but in Code Geass style. Those are the 2 ones that I want. If you get duplicate level 4, don't complain to me. Well, Ryan, you jinxed me. Here we go. Duplicate time. Level 4. Here we go. Trying to get Kallen. Please, for God's sakes, give me what I want. Or C2. C2, I won't complain. Or Akito. Not Akito. Arenya. Those 3. No one else. What did she just say? That was weird. C2, Renya, Kallen. That's it. No duplicates and no new characters. Here we go. You gotta be kidding me. Akito again? Ugh. Oh my god. Stop giving me duplicates. Oh my god. I don't even hate Akito, but my... Okay, next. We're going to the level 4s now. We're going to keep going. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep going until we get what I want. I mean, I have like 25,000. We'll keep burning dice until I get it. C2? I mean, I'm not C2. Jesus, Gigi. She looks scared. That kind of gets me excited, but there's no C2 in the first one, so probably not. Here we go. Probably 3s. Yeah, a couple 3s. Upgrade? No, piss off. Ugh, Klaus. Nobody wants you, man. Okay, next. Your food, though. Valletta, again. Shirley. Okay, I'll take more Shirley. We need her for the Oh my god, you guys can go. I know, but still, piss off with this art style. Nope, don't want to hear him talk. Detard. Valletta. Cecile, I'll take more of that. More Todu. Guys, would it kill you to give me Llyod? The answer is yes. Alright, again. Again, we're doing this again. Nah, this one's crap. This is a crap summon. Klaus. Detard. Todu again. Yay, I love Todu. Kaguya, Sayako, Gino again. Oh, Futaba. Okay, I'll take Futaba. I have her, but why not? Ogi, Sayako, Todo. Ah, look at that, the new character, Ashley. All right, yeah, I got one of the new people. All right, I can at least play all the W0 unit now. I have the entire team. Yay. All right, again. C2, please. There we go. Lelouch. I'm just kidding. That's good. Oh, well, she's not excited, though. Damn it. She's not excited, though. That bothers me. Usually when you... Yeah, they're gonna upgrade all the, They're gonna upgrade all these to, like, 3s. No 4s, probably. Wow. What a crap that was. Alright, more Ino. Yay, love Ino. Next, Cecile, Detard, Valletta, Futaba, Shirley. Look, I'll be out with OP Shirley soon. I'm okay with that. Shut up, Tommy. You don't like Sue. A lot of Futaba, man. A lot of Futaba. More Nunnally, too. Oh my god. Again! Do you prefer Lelouch C2 or Lelouch X Kallen? Lelouch in C2. Oh my god, red! This is a good one. This is a very good one. We're definitely getting a 4 in this one. When you see the red moon, we're getting a 4. Come on. Give me Kallen, C2, or Akito. If you give me Suzaku, so help me. You give me Suzaku in this, there'll be hell to pay. Do not give me Suzaku. We're getting a 4. Yep, there's one 4. Upgrade to more 4s? Yeah. Alright, Ashley again. Alright, it's fine. I don't mind Ashley. I think he's a good character. I don't personally... I mean, I would choose him with other people, but it's okay. Klaus, okay. I think I'll have to upgrade Shirley after this. Shut up. Dita lead. Oh my god. Llyod. Thank fucking god. I don't drop the F-bomb on this channel, but oh my god, finally! Took me forever to get Llyod. Alright. Next 3. Alright, whatever, Yukia. It is what it is. Now. No, okay, one more to go. Okay. Alright, here it is. C2, Akito, or Kallen. Oh, it's the Crimson Dude. You gotta be kidding me. Can I sell you and get someone else? I will admit I like his design. I won't deny that. But I didn't want him. Again. I'm running out of money. This is crazy. I've been wasting so much gems on this crap. Gigi? That is crap. Let's move on. This is bad. It's a waste of a summon. Let's just go through this real quick. You know, I'm gonna speed through it. Thank God I did. What a terrible... What is that? Is that a guaranteed Kallen summon? What was that? Not sure what that was. I think if you... Huh? Oh. Was this... Oh, it's do you want my money? I got it. Okay. Why is it showing me this? That's weird. Anyway, let's go back to summoning. I don't know what's going on with that. I got a Kallen tick. I'm not sure how I use it, though. Yeah, imagine with the Kallen tick. I don't know how the system works. I was asking, forgot who it was. But anyway, how that works. Huh. I see. Okay. This is what the last summon I'm going to do, because I need some money to play this game, so I can't spend all of it. This is our last one. Okay. No, there's no force. Alright, well. We tried, and we failed. I got a lot of Akito, and I got a lot of extra stuff, but I didn't get what I wanted, which is typical. RNG pools are pieces of crap. At least I got Llyod, so I'm not too upset. It could have been way better, though. But it is what it is. We'll see who we end up our last summon of the day. We get Ashley again. A lot of Ashley, no Kallen. Todu, which is good. Todu's actually a really powerful character. Ogi again, because the game hates me. Sayako. Tamaki. Todd lead. Tamaki. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, that was 4 Tamakis in a row. Lux. I don't like. Lux is a good character. I don't mind her. And that's it. That's the end of summonings. Well, that sucked. I was hoping to get Kallen, but I didn't. I guess I'll die now. I'm of course just kidding. Let's work what we have first of all. Let me upgrade Aino a little bit. I have a bunch of stuff for her, so let's do that. Okay. Let's go through our characters too. Surely I have like so many, so let's get her to level 3. Okay. Let's move on to Todu. Let's get her to 3. No Reddit Orphans Kallen or C2. Yeah, it was crap. Crap as always. Look, it's an RNG pool. You know, you're not gonna get what you want. I saw some people complaining about it too, and I'm not putting money into this game. I utterly refuse. I was considering it possibly in the future, but given what they've done in this game, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, really frustrating stuff. I can get Toad level 3 because Toad's actually really powerful. Huh? Why did I do it? I think Shirley, did I get her up already? I didn't. Did I? I did, okay. So Toad and Shirley are done. I can put Akito next level. Yay, I guess. Even though I don't hate Akito's character, he's just not my favorite, and I don't think he's as good as maybe others in the game, but oh well. I mean, I got these 3 guys, and they're pretty cool. I got a ton of Ashley, which, I mean, whatever. What's so bullcrap, though, yeah, we did. We got a lot of spam, Tamaki, Shirley, and Todu. What's really irritating is that I believe in, I'm not sure I went here, but in the summonings, the summonings here, you get points for every time you do summons, but, like, I spent almost, I started, 24, and I have 7 left? I spent, 17,000, and I got only 60 points for an extra resummon. What a joke. Honestly, Kallen could piss off anyways. Her character is extremely frustrating anyhow, and the way they designed her is bullcrap. I was hoping to get C2. I conserved my resources to try, and, well, we failed. Or, I failed, I guess. Garbage. Well, we might as well use a character. Let's try them out. Make the most of this crap hole. Okay. Again, kind of weird, but okay. Let's get Llyod to 30. I heard Lloyd's really good in this game. I never got a chance to use him, so kind of crap. I love his voice in the Japanese. It's hilarious. He's such a troll. It's just amazing. What a freaking troll. And Ashley, let's level him up. Alright, let's use the characters now in the game and see how they do. They probably don't do well, but we'll find out. My score is B, by the way, in this stupid contest. I'll never, like... The whole thing's a joke, honestly, because if you have all, like, the money to play this game, you can get in, you can win with little ease. It's almost pointless if you don't spend money on this game to, like, win anything. I know I'm being salty or, you know, a salt mine here, but I'm just like, wow, you know, what's... They're not even freaking trying at this point. Whatever. Let me go switch my team up a little bit. So, we will use... well, my birthday party. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to mess that one up. Let's do... Oh, this one's a stupid pairing. We'll mess up this one. Okay. Okay. He's cool looking, but he's not good. So, oh wait, Ashley gives you birthday money? I mean, cakes. We'll take it. Oh, I got this girl recently, so we'll use her as well. Why did Ashley go away? I don't know. Who else did I get? Oh, Llyod. Right. Where's Llyod? Llyod, where are you? There you are. Oh, this game is so annoying with selecting characters. God dang it. Okay, and the last character we'll pick will be Cecile, since, nah, we won't use Cecile. We'll use someone else, who I don't use often. I don't know, who should I use? Fun fact, there's a new Nightmare in Lost Stories called, Pendulum, which is funny since the song in the trailer is called Pendulum of the Flow. Yeah, that is funny. I guess we'll use Sayako. Oh no, we'll use Nunnally, because she gives you stuff and she also heals your team. Alright, here's our random pairing of, like, Ashley. Oh, shoot. Nah, it's fine. We don't need it. We'll cruise right through this anyways. Wait, are we going to cruise through this? Ooh, I don't know. We're actually... We may not cruise through this. We might actually die. Oh, God. We might actually get killed in this. My bad. Here we go. Bismarck? I mean, Lelouch, whoever, help, please. So he actually fires with his gun. That kind of makes sense. He doesn't use it by his special ability to, he uses some of his nightmare frame. Oh, there it is. Oh my god. That's cool. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'll give him credit. That's pretty cool. What's his special? I could do either way with that one. I'm sorry, did he just turn to Dr. Octopus? What the heck was that? I must be crazy. I think Llyod turned into Dr. Octopus. Octavio Octopus, as they say. Yeah, we're barely surviving this because we're so underleveled. Okay, watch Llyod's ability. He's Dr. Octopus. What the hell? Soccer Wars game model would be a good base for Code Geass game. School sim where dialogue choices affect team stats for turn-based mech battles. Honestly, anything that's probably better than what we have now. I don't know what I think with these characters. I think they're okay. I don't know. I'm not, like... God, I really wanted someone else. I mean, even Renya, for crying out loud. Is what it is. Also, about Old Run this game, I'm pretty sure Nightmare's only original Lancelot Grail, not High Grail, since the Gawain, regular exams are in this. Yeah, it's weird. They don't have any consistency when it comes to the nightmare frames they use for certain characters. There's no consistency with it. Oh, hold on a second. It's kind of loud. Let me just lower it a little bit. Okay. Look at that, we're gonna kill a million rivals. This is so much fun. I'm a sick man, but seriously, I mean, it's just so annoying. Finish them off. Finish her. Bam. Dead. We can fight Kallen too, and this is kind of funny. I'll show you that in a second. So I think it's, let's see. Yeah, Kallen's in this one. Right? Yeah. She's the very last one you're gonna see. Like, yeah, there she is, right there. Ah, she died. Oh, she didn't. She wasn't there that long. Wow, that was kind of cute. With Ashley, that pose, Ashley, that was actually kind of funny. That's kind of funny. I like Ashley's typical anime pose. All right, let's try something else, a little bit more challenging. So I'm gonna switch the teams up. I'm curious to see now that actually before I do that, let me go back. Let me go to Nunnally. I forgot to upgrade her character. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, actually, can I upgrade Lucius' abilities? I can. Excellent. Let's do it. Because it'll come into play if we can actually win the next level. And I think it's Ditto. Oh, look at that. I can upgrade him finally. Let's do it. Next level. Very good. Very good indeed. Okay. Now, let's see if we can beat this one challenge. Let's switch the teams to best team. Okay, so we're going to need Euphy to switch spots with him. No, that was wrong. It was Todu. Todu's is in the front. Euphy's in the middle. Euphy's in the middle. And then I believe Shirley is in the very end. So let's swap. I believe that's how this went. And I want to give Todu the right equipment. So we'll go with that one, I guess. He probably should use something with attacking. Shirley will give her a shield as well. Where's the shield? This one. That will do just nicely. And here we go. What a question. What if the Autobots Decepticons were land on Code Geass Universe? How would it affect the events? I imagine not good. They're probably mass world war. The Nightmare Frames find that the Autobots will be interesting, but I doubt it would go anywhere. The Transformers are so many more times stronger than the Nightmare Frames. I think it'd be very ugly. It's not going well, by the way. Yeah, we died. Damn it! I couldn't even pause it because the mouse disappeared. That was bad. That was really bad. Well, there you go. We're not ready. We're not ready. It's that simple. We're just not ready. We got destroyed so badly, even though we should have done better. This fight we should do okay in. Man, I really wanted to get Kallen. Oh well. I'll wait till I get more Dite in the future. Whenever that's gonna happen. Oh, that took me like months to pile that up. Whatever. There's Shirley, there's Kallen, and there goes Kallen. Then there's this new top hat guy, which, you know, he can piss off, but... I like that. Killed by a cat and a backpack. I can't think of a worse way to go. Backpack. Death by backpack and, pretty bad stuff. Yep. How would you fix Chain of Resurrection? It's like Undertaker streak. I wouldn't have made it. No, I don't know. Maybe just explain things better. Because the problem with that story is like it just had it just was kind of confusing. I would have just explained things. That's probably it. A lot of it was just not. Yeah, that'd be the first major change I would make with it. There are things too, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Just explain the narrative better. More C2 Lelouch moments, maybe. They only have like their stuff to the end. Why would you want to kill this guy? What the heck's going on here? The slower you kill him, the worse your score is. Lame. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, Resurrection was a fun film. It had a lot of good moments to it. My major complaint with it is just simply that it yeah, I think they kind of rushed a lot of stuff. That was a major issue I had with the story. It was just very rushed. See Collins there. That's why they had to update this stupid thing, and Ashley too. Well, I guess I won't be spending money in this game for some reason in a long time since I got almost F all from it. But it is what it is, which is a horrible way to summarize anything. But yeah, it's true. My next goal, I guess, is to get this item here. I'm very close. It's apparently a very powerful. What is this? Code link. I could buy all of these, but I'm just saving my my birthday cakes for Lelouch. You can never have too many birthday cakes, you know. So that's where that money is going. Anyhow, what was I doing again? All right, we were going through some of my items, seeing what I have. Not too much. Not too much indeed. Or not bad at all. Okay. Oh, hold on. Seas World. Let's go there real quickly so I can collect my memories. Who's in Seas World, by the way? Shirley, Jeremiah, Valletta, Cecile, Halloween, Gigi, or Gee, Nunnally, Euphy. Oh, they're together. That's cool. Look, they're all... Actually, look at this. Hold on. See, we have... Lelouch is here. You have Nunnally and Euphy. They're all together. I wonder what they're going to talk about. Oh, Lelouch. Wait, that's my brother? Yes, that is your brother. Uh-oh, this is awkward. So, Lelouch, who are you going to marry? Huh? You got to pick one of us. I'm not picking either of you. No, you got to pick one of us. Who are you going to pick? I think Euphy is the one who is making the advances. Nunally's just sitting here. She's being very passive. Oh, man, I'm just talking nonsense right now. Anyways. And then we have Zio walking aimlessly, which is par for the course, I guess. Can I upgrade this yet? No. Okay. So that's that. I guess back to this. Yeah. Let's see something. If I swap out her for Nunnally, will that impact our performance? Let's see, go back to Euphy again. It weakens our team a little bit, but Nunnally is a good character. Plus, we get more cake. And cake is all that matters. Lelouch is over Suzaku. I got the Geass Suzaku. You got my spin Zaku. There's a funny video of the voice actor for Suzaku making fun of Lelouch. I don't know where it is, but it was really funny. If you can find it, it was like, I never thought I'd become Zero, but now that I am, who's Zero now? It was really funny. I'm totally like botching what he said, but it was pretty funny stuff. Millie died. Bam. Kallen, hello, and goodbye. It's basically the whole student council at this point. Damn. Down. That's what I want to see. 1 minute kills. I still don't know why my score is so crappy. I have no idea how the system works. I thought after you play a game, you get added to your total score. But when I check my total score, let's go back to that real quick. It's still 4-something-865. So I'm convinced that it's not based on how many times you play this game, but how many stages you complete. I have no idea. I know people have breezed through these, and I have yet to do so because this game is kind of challenging for me, but I just don't understand the logic behind how you get scores in this game. Lelouch, calm down with your deep voice. Yeah, it's crazy. You think he was like 30 or something, the way he talks. Or like in his 50s. Lelouch v. Brittanian, come on you. Now all of you, die. Now. Oh crap, I didn't want to do that. My bad, that was stupid. We all gonna die now. We threw backpacks at this guy. It's pretty funny. Do you think if Shirley was rocking the bunny suit to rescue Lelouch in R2, she would be more popular? I don't know about that. Probably not. I'm trying to figure out how this system works. You have to get the best score in every single one? Is that how you win this thing? I literally don't get how some have like millions of points. I don't understand the logic behind how this stupid thing works. Even Akito ran over who all are 18 have mature young voices. I don't know. If Shirley had the bunny suit, I don't think it would have made a difference whatsoever. I think people like Shirley's outfit or Shirley's character because the story didn't. I don't think it had to do with any of that stuff. I have no idea what's going on here. So I didn't gain any new points. Do you gain points if you win challenges? You don't if you do. I have no clue how this works. Whoa. Yeah, no change in my score. I tried picking up Kallen, you pieces of crap. It didn't work. These mother chuckers. You didn't get Kallen. You want to try to get her again? No. And I'm not paying however many yen it takes to freaking do this whole crap over and over again. Oh, honey. Like Java a freaking hut over here. So stupid. You want some code links? No, I don't want your code links. Okay, no code links for you. I don't want your freaking code links. I'm close to getting another rainbow summon, but that's not for a while. At least I got Llyod. I can't complain too much, but I'm still pissed off heavily that I couldn't even get C2 or even Renya. Like, forget about Kallen, just not even those two. You gotta be kidding me. Whatever. At some point, I have to play through this story because I said I would like a while ago. I have not gotten down to it. They got this new thing where you can face against like other opponents and stuff. I still can't get past this one round. I just don't have the AP for it. We'll still get massacred. F these guys. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's show off the new characters in the menu for end this stream. Let's see. Klaus, Todu, Cornelia, Jeremiah, Shirley, Nunnally, Mao. Ah, Llyod. Welcome, buddy. I missed you. I mean, I was looking. Long overdue. Todu. Gino. Here's Ashley. I guess that's the launching pad for all the W0 members, I guess. Fun fact, Goro is directing a new One Piece film coming next year, December 1000th episode release. I saw that and I don't care. No offense. I'm not a One Piece fan, but for those people, I'm sure they're excited. By the way, we gotta have all the W0 members. I can have the whole team now. This guy, Zero, Lelouch, Alderan, Akito, this guy, Zio, Lux. I could do her alternative. Euphy, Halloween Gigi, Al, regular Gigi. Am I missing someone? I think I got everybody. Yeah, I got everyone. Okay. Shut up, Tamaki. Just shut up. Nobody likes you. Nobody. Your very existence is a mistake. Okay. I think we'll end it here. Complete fail on summons. We'll have to wait 3 months to do more of this because Diet is like never giving out on this game. But whatever. It's not a total loss. I got Llyod. And to be honest, I wanted Llyod for a long time. So I could complain all I want. But it is what it is. You can order, by the way, you can order your characters by the order you got them in, I believe. No, that's not it. Actually, one last thing before we end this. You can order them, was it this one? No. This one? No. This one. I don't think so. Maybe it was this. One of these has like the order of what you got them. No. That's I think that's strength. Attack power. Oh my god, which one is it? I think this is it? No, hold on. This is it. This is the order. Now, watch this. If I do this. So the first character I got in the game was Al, Gigi, Guilford, Cecile, Sayako, Ogi, Toto, Shirley, Lelouch, Nunnally, Toto, Valletta, Detard, Mao, Gino, Yukia, Tamaki, Cornelia, Jeremiah, Futaba, Klaus, Ayano, Ryu, Zio, Alderan, Gigi, Euphy, this dude, I don't know his name, Lux, Akito, I don't know her name, Ashley, Llyod, and don't know his name. I don't really give a damn here, to be honest with you. So yeah, there you go. That's all the characters I've gotten. At least I got more rainbow tickets, but a lot of grinding to get those tickets. Anyhow, we're ending here. Yeah, thanks guys for coming to stream. It's too we didn't get Kallen. Whatever, it is what it is. I'll see you guys next week to finish R1, more Jedi Code gameplay, and probably another anime review at some point. But yeah, all right guys, have a good week. I know I'll try to. Take care.